the Lakewood family celebrated the birth of their second son and prepared a magic appraisal. An unknown color appeared on the sphere, shocking everyone present. Elsewhere, Zenichi Kiyama endured a tiring life as an office worker. After saving a child, he died in a traffic accident and met a god. Learning he belonged elsewhere, Zenichi was chosen to be sent to a more suitable world. Kyle's second life began with hope, but the appraisal revealed a black attribute. The dark result spread fear throughout the Lakewood family. Servants whispered that the newborn was a demon child. His uncle declared him a disgrace and wanted his existence erased. As plans formed to abandon him, Kyle realized his new life was already in danger. Zenichi feared his new life had become even more unfortunate than the one he left behind. A bright light faded, revealing new parents and an unfamiliar home. By morning, he found himself living in a large estate far from his previous world. Realizing he had been adopted by his uncle, Zenichi cried, while adjusting to the sudden change. His new family comforted him as the storm passed, and a peaceful day began. As sunlight appeared after the storm, the couple searched for a suitable name for the baby. Inspired by the bright sky, they chose a name connected to the sun. Hearing its meaning, Kyle quietly accepted the identity of his new life. A cheerful reaction from the baby reassured his new family. From that day onward, Kyle began his second life under their care, opening a new chapter in an unfamiliar world. 5 years passed, and Kyle grew up in a loving home with his adoptive parents. On a family travel day, the household set out with 2 knights guarding the carriage. After saying farewell to the servants, Kyle eagerly joined the journey. The trip led them to a city farther away than their usual destinations. Having spent 5 peaceful years with his family, Kyle looked forward to seeing new places beyond his estate. Although 5 years had passed, Kyle still remembered the night his black attribute was revealed. Through books, he learned that the world was divided into 8 magic attributes. Further study taught him that appraisal results could greatly influence a person's future. Realizing dark magic was linked to demons, Kyle feared being rejected again. However, his mother reassured him, easing the worries he had quietly carried for years. Remembering the appraisal night, Kyle realized his parents had accepted him despite knowing the truth. Noticing his serious expression, his father tried to lighten the mood during the journey. Soon, the warmth of his family pushed those painful memories aside. Gratitude filled his heart as he reflected on the second chance he had received in this world. Meanwhile, the carriage continued through the forest, carrying the family closer to their destination and new experiences ahead. While traveling through the forest, Kyle sensed a growing danger ahead and became increasingly uneasy. A sudden vision convinced him that something threatening waited further down the road. Soon after, he realized a group of magic beasts was moving nearby. The guards confirmed the presence of the creatures and prepared to change their route. Then Kyle discovered the beasts were attacking someone in the forest, prompting him to rush toward the scene, despite the danger. Kyle revealed that he could already use magic and decided to act despite his parents' concern. Using wind magic, he created a barrier and raced ahead on horseback toward the danger. Determination pushed him forward as he refused to ignore people in need. Memories of being accepted by his family strengthened his resolve to help others. Driven by that belief, Kyle charged deeper into the forest, unwilling to leave anyone in danger. As strange noises echoed through the forest, the guards quickly formed a defensive perimeter around the carriage. Soon, they identified the threat as a large group of monsters, including ogres, goblin mages, and forest wolves. The escorts realized the carriage carried an important passenger and prepared to defend it at all costs. Without warning, the monsters launched a fierce assault against the frontline guards, surrounded from multiple directions. The defenders feared they would be unable to protect everyone if the carriage became the main target. Kyle unleashed a wind spell that struck the approaching monsters with unexpected force. Surprised by the result, he realized his magic was stronger than he had expected. The guards watched in shock as a young child calmly stepped onto the battlefield. Meanwhile, the monsters continued gathering and completely surrounded the carriage. Recognizing the danger, Kyle ordered the knights to form a tighter defense around the carriage while preparing for the next attack. Kyle cast a light barrier around the carriage, creating a safe zone for the defenders. The knights were stunned when the same child who used wind magic revealed light magic as well. After securing the carriage, Kyle turned his attention toward the surrounding monsters. Without hesitation, he prepared another spell, determined to end the threat quickly. Moments later, Kyle summoned rain with water magic, leaving the soldiers shocked by his growing abilities. Kyle faced the surrounding monsters and prepared another spell, while the enemies closed in from every direction. Combining rain and thunder magic, he unleashed a powerful attack that struck the battlefield and wiped out many creatures. After the battle, Kyle used dark magic to collect the remains of the defeated magic beasts, astonishing the nearby knights. Confusion spread among the soldiers as they struggled to understand how one child possessed so many different abilities. Despite the questions, Kyle calmly warned everyone to stay alert. A young girl watched Kyle from a distance, wondering about his identity after witnessing his unusual abilities. Meanwhile, Kyle noticed that the mysterious figure had already disappeared from the road before he could learn anything. Back at the carriage, worried adults and guards stared at him. Relief soon replaced tension as his parents and the escorts welcomed him back safely and expressed their concern. One knight then revealed that he had followed Kyle and witnessed an unbelievable scene. A knight described how Kyle used several types of magic and defeated the attacking monsters with remarkable speed. Surprised by the report, everyone questioned how a boy with a black appraisal result could wield multiple attributes. Instead of answering immediately, Kyle promised an explanation later. Kyle revealed the secret behind the black glass sphere. Seeing their reactions, he decided to continue the explanation later and returned home with them. At the training field, Kyle prepared a water ball and used it as a substitute for a glass sphere to demonstrate his idea. Using the water attribute, he began assigning colors to represent different magical elements. One by one, more attributes were added to the water ball. The adults questioned how Kyle could use so many attributes when most people possessed only a few. In response, he demonstrated every attribute he knew, revealing abilities beyond ordinary expectations. Afterward, Kyle introduced the concepts of light and dark attributes. The explanation left his parents stunned. Combining every attribute together, he showed that all colors merged into black within the water ball. Finally, Kyle connected the result to the black glass sphere. His reasoning explained its dark color and impressed everyone present. Curious about his abilities, the adults asked when Kyle had learned so many kinds of magic. To explain, he revealed a book he had borrowed from the library and claimed it guided his understanding of magic. Soon, the adults recognized the author and realized the book came from an old acquaintance. Kyle eagerly described the book's lessons, praising its clear explanations and advanced ideas. His review impressed the adults. Before the discussion continued, news arrived that unexpected visitors had come to the estate. As evening fell, the family went outside to greet the unexpected visitors who had arrived at the estate. A mysterious woman in a large hat appeared before them and teased the master's reaction. Recognizing the visitor, the master immediately welcomed her and revealed that they knew each other well. Kyle examined the newcomer closely and was shocked to discover that she was an elf soon. He recalled that elves were a rare race with long lifespans and magical abilities far beyond those of most others. The elf greeted the family warmly and soon noticed Kyle standing beside them. Proudly, his parents introduced Kyle as their son and praised his talent. Surprised by the revelation, the elf listened as they explained his interest in magic and books. Moments later, Kyle learned that the mysterious elf was Isaac, the very author of the book that had taught him so much. Pleased by his admiration, Maluna felt her work had been worthwhile and became curious about Kyle's passion for magic. Kyle eagerly admitted his love for magic. His parents proudly praised his talent, leaving him slightly embarrassed. Amused by their enthusiasm, Maluna decided to see his abilities for herself. Soon, she challenged Kyle to attack her with everything he had while she focused only on defense. When Kyle asked about the proper strength, Maluna confidently told him to use his full power. Accepting the challenge, Kyle immediately prepared a spell while Maluna calmly observed his next move. Taking Maluna at her word, Kyle gathered his magic and prepared to attack with everything he had. A massive surge of power erupted from him, spreading through the surroundings and catching Maluna off guard. Without hesitation, Kyle combined earth, water, fire, and wind into a powerful spell. Several elemental spears formed and shot toward Maluna from different directions. Before the attack ended, Kyle added ice, lightning, light, and dark attributes, leaving Maluna shocked by the scale of his magic. Kyle combined all 8 magic attributes at once and merged them into a single powerful attack. As the spell surged forward, Maluna realized the attack was far stronger than expected and hurried to react. Without hesitation, Kyle compressed the combined power into one projectile and launched it straight toward his opponent. Kyle unleashed the arrow of 8 attributes. Sensing the danger, Maluna quickly summoned several contracted spirits for protection. Immediately, layers of wind, water, and earth defenses formed around her. As the attack closed in, a violent collision followed, creating a massive explosion that shook the training field. Thick smoke spread across the area, preventing the onlookers from seeing the outcome. When the dust settled, Maluna remained standing, despite blocking much of the attack. After the explosion, Maluna examined the enormous crater left behind and realized the attack contained overwhelming power. Suddenly, she noticed an arrow lodged in her hat, showing how close the strike had come. Meanwhile, Kyle cleared the dust with wind magic and began restoring the damaged ground. Soon, the battlefield became visible again, as the smoke and debris gradually disappeared. Watching his calm actions, Maluna grew increasingly impressed and started viewing Kyle as an extraordinary child. Later, while everyone rested inside the mansion, Maluna quietly questioned Kyle's true identity after recalling his unusual abilities. His parents firmly answered that Kyle was simply their beloved child. Hearing this, Maluna dropped the subject. Afterward, she shared an idea regarding Kyle's future, drawing the family's attention. Maluna suggested enrolling him in the National Magic Academy. The proposal immediately surprised Kyle. She explained that the academy offered advanced magical training, valuable connections, and opportunities to build friendships. Maluna asked whether Kyle wanted to test his abilities against talented students from across the kingdom at the academy. Excitement quickly filled Kyle as he eagerly accepted the idea without hesitation. His parents supported the decision at once, believing he would stand out among the academy's students. Later, Maluna explained that new students usually studied under tutors before enrollment. Remembering how much he had learned from books alone, Kyle became even more determined to deepen his understanding of magic. Kyle asked to learn directly from the author of the book that had taught him so much. After considering his unusual talent and overwhelming potential, Maluna accepted the request. She agreed to become his tutor and warned that the training would be demanding despite their connection. Hearing that, Kyle eagerly accepted and looked forward to learning under her guidance. Time passed as preparations were made at the estate for his upcoming departure. When the carriage arrived, Kyle said goodbye to his family and prepared to begin the next stage of his journey. At 12 years old, Kyle prepared to leave for the Magic Academy. As he got ready, Maluna quietly reflected on how quickly her only disciple had matured. Before departing, Kyle expressed gratitude for everything he had learned. Maluna reminded him to trust himself and continue moving forward. Soon after, she warned him about dark forces that were gradually appearing across the world. Finally, Maluna told him to keep the bracelet safe. With those words in mind, Kyle began his journey toward the academy. As Kyle prepared to leave, his family struggled with the farewell, while Maluna urged him to properly say goodbye before departing. Facing his parents, Kyle reflected on how they had accepted and raised him despite not being related by blood. He admitted he could never fully repay their kindness and care, which left everyone emotional. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Kyle finally expressed his heartfelt thanks. Those simple words carried all the feelings he had been unable to put into speech. Kyle tearfully thanked his parents for raising him and supporting him throughout his life. As the carriage departed, he looked back at his family and teacher, promising himself never to forget the lessons and love they had given him. With determination in his heart, Kyle set off toward the National Magic Academy to begin a new chapter of his journey. After completing his training, Kyle arrived at the National Magic Academy in the royal capital. The academy stood as a prestigious institution, producing talented mages, soldiers, and influential figures across the nation. While students gathered to pursue magic and recognition, Kyle entered its gates, carrying a rare secret. His magic sphere showed black. Unlike anyone else, he possessed the ability to control every magic attribute. Inside the main hall, new students received instructions. Soon, Kyle prepared to face the academy's ranking tests. As the room assignment test began, students worried about their rankings. Meanwhile, Kyle waited calmly, curious about the challenges ahead. Soon, he entered the testing room and greeted the examiners. Following instructions, Kyle placed his hand on the lion-shaped instrument to measure his magic power. Without warning, the device suddenly emitted a powerful light. The machine shook violently and began malfunctioning. Confused by the result, Kyle could only watch the unexpected disturbance unfold. The machine displayed an abnormal value and shocked the examiners. Moments later, Kyle received a score of 0 and was assigned rank F with the device broken. The test was postponed. Kyle remained puzzled. Soon, students moved on to the magic control test involving moving targets. Before participating, Kyle remembered his master's warning and prepared himself carefully, facing 200 targets. Kyle followed his master's advice and used only wind magic. Several wind spheres appeared around him, surprising the examiner. The number of spheres kept increasing until they filled the entire testing area. After aiming at every target, Kyle released his magic at once. An enormous blast swept through the field as all 200 targets were struck simultaneously. After the attack ended, every target fell. Kyle eagerly waited for the result. The counter recorded only one hit, giving him another rank F score. Examiners concluded the targets had been destroyed simultaneously, confusing the system again. Next, Kyle entered the strength test area, where a giant golem awaited. Although discouraged by his earlier results, he prepared to strike the golem with his strongest magic. Before attacking, Kyle confirmed that he only needed to use magic against the golem. Standing before the massive construct, he carefully examined its durability. Concerned about the outcome, Kyle asked whether he could fight seriously. The examiner dismissed his worries and insisted the golem could withstand any student's attack. Reassured by that answer, Kyle decided to trust the examiner and proceed with the test. Kyle gathered a powerful mass of wind magic before the golem and began his attack. The compressed energy intensified as he focused on earning at least one high score. A giant wind spell shaped like fangs surged toward the target. The examiner stared in disbelief at the unfamiliar magic technique. With a final command, the wind fang struck the golem and exploded with tremendous force. The impact created a tremor that spread beyond the testing hall, drawing attention from people across the academy. Soon, observers realized the disturbance had come from exam hall. Number 3. Inside the hall, the golem lay completely shattered while debris covered the floor around Kyle. When the result appeared, the measuring system failed to calculate his power and labeled it unmeasurable. After the test ended, Kyle returned to the lobby while the stunned examiner remained speechless. After leaving the test hall, Kyle stopped the examiner and requested that the broken magic counter be reported. The examiner agreed, still troubled by the explosion and the strange results of the test. Meanwhile, the disturbance reached the teacher's room, sparking interest in the student responsible. Elsewhere, Kyle blended into the crowd and appeared no different from the other new students. However, the examiner knew the truth. The boy possessed power far beyond anything the Academy's tests could properly measure. As Kyle walked away from the tests, Academy staff quietly regarded him as a student with extraordinary and frightening potential. Meanwhile, a teacher became interested in him and hoped he would join her class as Academy life began. The placement results were announced, and Kyle was assigned to Class F as expected. Rather than feeling discouraged, he accepted the outcome and looked forward to improving. Using the Academy map, Kyle headed toward the classroom marked F1. Soon he arrived at a small and simple classroom unlike the others. After stepping inside, Kyle noticed the unusual surroundings and realized Class F was very different from the Academy's main classrooms. Inside Class F, Kyle noticed a girl sitting alone and looking discouraged, concerned. He approached her. She revealed that despite being born into a noble family, she lacked magical talent and had been placed in the lowest class. Soon, more students arrived, each carrying disappointment over their placement results. Throughout the room, frustration and discouragement spread among the classmates. As the lesson began, the students reflected on their failures, while Kyle quietly listened and learned about their situation. Listening to his classmates, Kyle finally understood why everyone in Class F seemed so discouraged. While others blamed their lack of talent, he noticed the noble girl possessed more magic than many students around her. Instead of agreeing with her doubts, Kyle encouraged her to keep trying and develop her abilities. His unexpected optimism gradually caught her attention and eased her worries. Soon Kyle introduced himself, prompting the surprised girl to finally share her own name with the class. As Kyle introduced himself, the noble girl suddenly recognized him from a memory she had never forgotten. She realized Kyle was the boy who had saved her and her soldiers years earlier. Excited by the discovery, she tried to tell him about their encounter in the forest. Before she could continue, the teacher interrupted and restored order to the classroom. The students quickly settled down while the girl remained flustered, and Kyle reacted calmly to the revelation. The new teacher entered the classroom and bluntly told the students that their weak determination had placed them in F class. After introducing herself as Freya, she noticed Kyle remained calm, despite her intimidating presence. Reviewing the student records, Freya recognized Kyle as the boy who had destroyed the Academy golem. Meanwhile, Kyle admired her strength. Realizing her voice carried powerful magic, Freya challenged the class to improve, while the discouraged students listened in silence. Freya harshly reminded the students that being placed in F class damaged both their pride and their families' reputations. Next, she declared that the class consisted of the Academy's weakest students, leaving many feeling discouraged. Several classmates became emotional, while Highs struggled to hold back tears. Kyle quietly observed the situation. Freya then stated that no matter how hard they worked, F class would always remain at the bottom. As silence filled the room, Kyle raised his hand, preparing to challenge her words. Freya gave Kyle permission to speak, while the class watched with curiosity and uncertainty. Instead of opposing her, Kyle agreed that outstanding students deserved better treatment, surprising everyone around him. His response confused the class, but he continued calmly while preparing another question. Kyle asked whether the academy would change its attitude if F-class proved its abilities through results. Freya answered that catching up was impossible because the higher classes would continue growing stronger as well. Freya argued that talent determined success in the magic world. Kyle acknowledged her point and accepted that F-class was viewed as the group of losers within the academy. Rather than backing down, he challenged the belief that the past always dictated the future, catching everyone's attention. A bold idea then formed in his mind as he considered changing the academy's long-standing system. Standing confidently, Kyle declared that F-class would become the first class to overturn the established order of talent. Kyle remained confident in his goal, surprising Freya with his determination to change F-class's future. Rather than backing down, he continued standing firm, causing Freya to laugh at his bold attitude. Amazed by his resolve, Freya promised support if he could achieve the impossible. Meanwhile, Kyle gladly accepted the challenge. Kyle Flayfield arrived at the Royal Magic Academy and admired the magnificent dormitory where students would live together. While examining the common room, Kyle noticed Delia surrounded by classmates as Turk mocked her. Turk continued insulting Delia because of her class rank, causing embarrassment while nearby students watched. Unable to ignore the situation, Kyle stepped between them and drew attention from everyone. Kyle introduced himself to Delia with kindness, while Turk sensed unexpected trouble after meeting him. Turk attacked Kyle, but an unseen force stopped him, leaving everyone shocked and confused. Kyle questioned Turk's actions, while Delia watched as strange reactions spread among students. The room grew silent when Psyche's old delight appeared, causing students to recognize his famous lineage. Students recalled stories about the old Delight family, renowned for producing exceptional magic swordsmen across generations. Sykes identified Turk as the source of trouble. While Kyle realized he faced a celebrated genius, Sykes sensed magic lingering within the room and questioned who had secretly used such power. After hearing accounts from witnesses, Sykes concluded Kyle used magic to stop Turk's reckless attack. Kyle admitted the truth with a smile, revealing he originally intended to conceal everything. Turk accused Kyle of fighting unfairly, but Sykes dismissed his complaints and defended Kyle's actions. Sykes studied Kyle, realizing an ordinary F-class student should never possess such abilities. Hearing noise from the common room, Glacia arrived and demanded to know what caused the disturbance. Kyle revealed that Turk and another student had insulted Delia during the confrontation. Rather than seeking punishment, he asked Turk to offer Delia a proper apology for everything. As Glacia attempted to end the dispute and dismiss everyone, Leah appeared with curiosity. Meanwhile, Glacia worried the freshmen might continue clashing, though Kyle remained composed under growing scrutiny. After hearing everyone's accounts, Teacher Rhaegot proposed a decisive solution, while Glacia doubted such measures. To settle the dispute fairly, Rhaegot announced that Kyle and Sykes would battle before witnesses. Rather than showing concern, Kyle smiled with interest, surprising Sykes and confusing several watching students. Fueled by arrogance, Turk demanded Kyle's expulsion after defeat, insisting commoners never belonged there. Ignoring the pressure around him, Kyle accepted the challenge and calmly proposed a condition instead. To everyone's surprise, Kyle declared that Sykes would join F-class if he lost the upcoming duel. With a cheerful smile, Kyle argued that Turk should apologize, regardless, leaving the troublemaker speechless. As the proposal became clearer, Sykes realized Kyle intended to wager his academy status. Dark pressure filled the room when Sykes accepted the challenge, shocking students who admired his reputation. Instead of backing down, Kyle agreed and confirmed he would honor the wager himself. With the matter settled, Leah announced the duel, while students anticipated Kyle's first battle. While students argued, Kyle and Sykes headed toward the arena under countless watchful eyes. Upon entering the rehearsal grounds, Kyle questioned the modest entrance, before discovering an enormous space inside. Seeing Kyle's surprise, Rhaegot explained that the facility was created through legendary space magic. According to Rhaegot, powerful barriers protected spectators while the arena repaired any damage. Excited by those rules, Kyle eagerly confirmed he could fight freely, leaving Sykes silently observing. Watching from the sidelines, Freya worried Kyle might unleash overwhelming magic, similar to the testing incident. Rather than sharing her concern, Leah appeared excited and encouraged Kyle, while anticipating an entertaining battle. Following Glacia's instructions, both participants stepped onto the stage and faced each other in silence. As spectators settled into their seats, Glacia confirmed the duel would begin. Once preparations ended, without wasting time, Sykes drew his sword as a catalyst, surprising students who expected a wand. Before the duel began, Sykes revealed a rare spirit sword, drawing admiration from teachers and students. Meanwhile, Kyle presented an ordinary wooden stick, causing laughter to spread throughout the gathered audience. According to Raygot, catalyst quality influenced combat strength, making Kyle's choice appear disadvantageous. After Glacia explained the arena rules, Kyle remained cheerful, despite concerns from spectators around him. Once every condition was restated clearly, both contestants accepted the wager and prepared themselves. Before starting the duel, Glacia reviewed the victory conditions, while both competitors listened without objections. Raising her hand, Glacia declared the Academy-approved match between Sykes and Kyle underway. The instant the battle began, Sykes activated his spirit sword and released blazing flames across the arena. Rather than reacting with concern, Kyle admired the weapon, which irritated Sykes even further. Sykes launched numerous fireballs toward Kyle as supporters cheered from the stands. To the crowd's disbelief, every fireball missed Kyle, leaving Sykes frustrated and several students confused. Only then did Raygot realize Kyle had redirected surrounding airflow, causing each attack to veer away. Recognizing the technique, Sykes understood Kyle possessed far greater skill than expected from F-Class. Instead of praising the spirit sword, Kyle expressed interest in measuring Sykes' own strength. Provoked by those words, Sykes unleashed a powerful flamestorm and attempted to overwhelm Kyle. With confidence, Kyle unleashed a massive tornado that collided against Sykes' powerful attack. As raging winds swallowed the flames, astonished spectators struggled to understand the overwhelming scene before them. Rather than retreating, Kyle praised Sykes' advanced magic and prepared a response of his own. Caught off guard, Sykes questioned Kyle's reasoning. After hearing suggestions that contradicted ordinary magical knowledge, Kyle revealed that his unexpected answer came from personal understanding and experience. To everyone's shock, Kyle summoned fire magic himself, demonstrating talent that rivaled Sykes' specialty. Kyle Flayfield surprised everyone by controlling wind magic, while maintaining powerful fire magic, something rarely witnessed before. Facing his opponent, Kyle extended his hand and encouraged another attack while concealing greater abilities. A massive wind barrier spread across the arena, blocking spectators from observing the battle. Freya noticed Kyle created the wind, believing he wanted to conceal something important from everyone. Realizing Kyle possessed extraordinary strength, his opponent abandoned caution and prepared a decisive attack. Kyle's opponent raised his magic sword and absorbed surrounding flames, preparing a powerful family technique against him. Calling upon his noble lineage, the opponent unleashed a blazing attack, determined to overwhelm Kyle. The enormous flame wave surged forward, while Kyle remained calm and observed its movement. As the attack approached, Kyle noticed the fire changing color and decided to reveal more. A terrifying blue flame beast emerged before the stunned opponent, displaying power far beyond expectations. Kyle explained that his blue flame possessed greater heat than ordinary red flames, leaving his opponent stunned, refusing defeat. The Marquis heir unleashed a blue flame wolf technique and charged toward Kyle. Kyle watched as the enormous flaming wolf rushed forward, displaying destructive power across the arena. The wind barrier faded away, allowing spectators and Freya to witness the battle's true scale. After the collision ended, the Marquis heir admitted his strongest magic failed against Kyle's power. Kyle stood unharmed, while his opponent's strongest attack vanished before unprecedented magical power. Instead of celebrating victory, Kyle smiled and asked what his exhausted opponent could demonstrate next. Unable to continue fighting, the Marquis heir acknowledged defeat as his damaged magic sword cracked apart. The stunned audience erupted with excitement when the officials declared Kyle Flayfield the battle's winner. Freya and the instructors examined the broken sword, wondering whether Sykes had destroyed it himself. After losing the battle, Sykes lowered his head and blamed his weakness for the disappointing defeat. Kyle reached out warmly, welcomed Sykes to Class F, and suggested growing stronger together. Hearing those words, Sykes paused because becoming stronger had once been an impossible dream. Sykes accepted Kyle's hand and expressed hope that studying alongside him would improve his abilities. The two shook hands before the crowd, while spectators reacted with disbelief at Sykes' humility. After witnessing Kyle's victory, the instructors discussed his remarkable talent and wondered how Class F would change. Freya watched the students and hinted that the upcoming extracurricular class would become fascinating. Far above the academy, a mysterious hooded figure overlooked the city and listened quietly. The figure spoke about endless resentment and revealed Kyle had entered this world unknowingly. Extending a hand, the hooded figure vowed to crush every student, threatening Kyle's peaceful academy life. The next day, Freya began Class F lessons, while the students listened inside the academy classroom. With Sykes joining Class F, Kyle felt optimistic, as a new chapter of academy life started. Freya brought the students outside and announced their first practical lesson would focus on target practice. One student struggled to hit the target and grew discouraged by the simple exercise. Kyle and Sykes demonstrated impressive accuracy, earning admiration from classmates who watched their performance. While practicing, Kyle and Sykes discussed stronger students, leaving Delia feeling nervous about comparisons. Delia attempted a simple water spell, but her magic control remained unstable and inconsistent. After observing, Sykes praised Kyle's exceptional magical senses and suggested Delia learn from him. Sykes called Kyle's attention and reminded everyone that long-range magic practice would begin next. Seeking improvement, Delia approached Kyle and asked for guidance, hoping to master basic magic. After helping Delia improve her aim, Kyle attracted more classmates who wanted guidance with magic. Sykes declined, joining the group practice, choosing independent training while Freya observed the students. Watching everyone improve together, Delia worried her weakness would continue causing trouble for classmates. Remembering Kyle's advice, Delia recalled that successful spellcasting depended on understanding several important stages. Kyle explained that forming, adjusting, and controlling magic were essential steps behind every successful spell. Kyle explained that proper spellcasting required correct magic flow, visualization, and control throughout every stage. Following Kyle's instructions, Delia concentrated and adjusted her magic while forming a water ball, encouraged by her progress. Delia believed the next attempt would succeed without mistakes. Despite her efforts, the spell failed again, leaving Delia drenched and questioning her own abilities. Seeing her distress, Kyle offered a towel kindly, and Delia thanked him with tearful gratitude. Kyle offered Delia donuts and warm black tea, noticing she still looked discouraged after practice. While resting together, Delia enjoyed the imported tea and relaxed beside Kyle. Despite following Kyle's instructions carefully, Delia admitted she believed her lack of talent was hopeless. Kyle rejected her doubts completely and insisted that he genuinely believed she possessed talent. Wanting proof, Kyle asked Delia to cast her magic again, so he could observe closely. Nervous about practicing alone with Kyle, Delia focused and attempted another water ball spell. The spell appeared stable at first, causing Delia to celebrate, before Kyle noticed something unusual. Examining the magic, Kyle discovered a hidden force interfering with Delia's transmitted magical power. After identifying the problem, Kyle found evidence that helped explain Delia's repeated casting failures. Kyle explained that Delia had not mastered mana control yet, and suggested a temporary solution. Kyle placed a special ring on Katie's finger, leaving her flustered and misunderstanding the situation. With the ring equipped, Katie maintained her water ball and prepared for another attempt. Gathering her courage, Katie launched the spell forward, sending the water ball racing toward the target. Katie watched in disbelief as her magic struck the distant target accurately for the first time. Encouraged by Kyle's praise, Katie requested more practice, determined to improve her magic further. Freya noticed Kyle's growing influence over Class F and considered how his presence affected others. Meanwhile, Freya concluded Kyle had already helped Sykes, leaving only one remaining concern unresolved. Determined to improve, Sykes trained alone and practiced stronger fire magic without his sword. While reviewing his progress, Sykes worried his current abilities would not secure a top ranking. The Academy announced an extracurricular battle inside the Demon Forest, revealing a dangerous challenge ahead. Hundreds of years ago, an Academy teacher defeated a powerful dungeon and gained control over its core. After linking a magic item to the core, he turned the dungeon into a training facility. Teacher Rhaegot announced the Magic Forest Challenge, surprising Kyle and his fellow. The students learned they would enter separate locations and face dangerous monsters throughout the forest. They could leave after defeating the boss, waiting 6 hours, taking damage, or exhausting magic teacher. Rhaegot explained that every action inside the dungeon would be recorded and contribute toward rankings. He announced that top performers would receive money, magic items, or valuable high-level medals. While many students worried about survival, Kyle became excited after hearing about magic items. Some ambitious students declared they would reach Class A because the best rewards awaited winners. Turk approached a quiet classmate, while Kyle watched nearby as tensions from earlier conflicts remained. A student mocked Sir Sykes, claiming he still carried the reputation of someone from the lowest class. The student reminded Sir Sykes about losing to Class F and questioned his strength before others. Growing angrier, he blamed Sir Sykes for damaging their class reputation and demanded accountability. Sir Sykes responded with a cold stare, causing the student to panic and retreat nervously. Calura Blodenheim intervened, reminding everyone that Sir Sykes remained an Earl's heir, despite his transfer. Caliura stopped the argument and warned others against worsening Sir Sykes' situation. Garden Multra mocked Sir Sykes, claiming poor results could never change his weakness or reputation. Kyle learned that Garden, Caliura, and Sir Sykes were considered the Academy's strongest freshman students. Garden declared that he and Caliura would secure the highest rankings and claim top prizes. Ignoring the insults, Sir Sykes remained calm, while another student challenged him before the examination. Kyle noticed Sir Sykes standing apart from everyone, and wondered why he seemed distant and troubled. Believing Sir Sykes felt uncomfortable, Kyle decided to approach him despite the tense atmosphere. Kyle's classmate joined him, refusing to stay silent, while others continued bullying their fellow student. The mocking student laughed at their concern, claiming weak students always relied on friendship for support. Before the argument continued further, Sir Sykes ended the discussion and walked toward the magic circle. Teacher Raygot started the first-year challenge, while students prepared themselves for the dangerous dungeon. The magic circles activated, scattering students across the forest while instructions emphasized defeating monsters. After arriving alone, Kyle Flayfield examined the magic forest and sensed strong magical energy. Using his detection ability, Kyle located Kitty, several students, and many monsters across the area. Meanwhile, Kitty's group found themselves surrounded by numerous monsters and suspected they had reached a lair. Kitty's group encountered a powerful monster pack, forcing the frightened students to abandon any thoughts of fighting. As the monsters attacked, a sudden blast erupted and stunned everyone within the dangerous area. Sir Sykes appeared, stepping forward alone and preparing to confront the approaching monsters. Kyle and a classmate supported the battle, helping eliminate monsters and rescuing Kitty from danger. After the fight ended, Kyle noticed screams and realized more students faced trouble elsewhere. When Kyle asked about Sir Sykes, a classmate revealed he stayed behind against numerous monsters. The frightened student pointed toward the battlefield, hoping Sir Sykes could survive the overwhelming enemy numbers. Without hesitation, Kyle rushed toward the monsters, determined to reach Sir Sykes before disaster struck. Sir Sykes fought alone, cutting through enemies while becoming surrounded from every direction. Kyle arrived at the battlefield and discovered Sir Sykes still resisting despite the overwhelming pressure. Using Fire Arrow, Sir Sykes cleared paths through monsters, while searching desperately for an escape. An enormous orc appeared among the attackers, forcing Sir Sykes into an even worse situation. Exhausted and cornered, Sir Sykes wondered whether the others escaped before the monsters overwhelmed him. Even while facing death, Sir Sykes worried about others and remembered the expectations placed upon him. Recalling past ambitions, Sir Sykes had always wanted to stand above everyone and surpass every rival. Kyle's words resurfaced in his mind, challenging his belief that classmates existed only as competitors. Since meeting Kyle and the others, Sir Sykes began viewing relationships from a different perspective. Hearing a grateful classmate's voice, Sir Sykes accepted those feelings before losing consciousness. Wounded and exhausted, Sir Sykes prepared for the final attack while a monster closed in relentlessly. Just before the strike landed, a powerful force appeared, giving Sir Sykes another chance to fight. Kyle reached Sir Sykes and apologized for arriving late after searching through the forest. Surprised by Kyle's presence, Sir Sykes questioned why he would risk himself for another student. Kyle stepped forward, unleashed a massive magic wave, and declared he would handle everything. Kyle unleashed an enormous magic formation and targeted every monster surrounding Sir Sykes. Countless wind arrows descended from the sky, striking enemies across the area with overwhelming force. Within moments, the battlefield became silent, leaving Sir Sykes shocked by Kyle's incredible power. When the others arrived, they found no monsters remaining, while Kyle claimed he defeated them. The returning students apologized, but Sir Sykes criticized them for abandoning friends and fleeing danger. A classmate offered Sir Sykes a healing potion, hoping to treat the injuries he suffered earlier. Embarrassed by the attention, Sir Sykes accepted the potion while Kyle explained everyone's concern for him. Sir Sykes recalled how he once rejected companionship, believing classmates only hindered his personal growth. After reflecting on recent events, Sir Sykes thanked everyone for saving him during the battle. While discussing their next objective, Kyle noticed unusual activity deeper within the magic forest. At the same time, Caliura and Garden discovered signs pointing toward the final boss location. Their confidence faded when they encountered mysterious monsters, capable of absorbing incoming magical attacks. Kyle's group reached the final area and discovered two powerful monsters while other students battled. After observing the situation, Kyle realized defeating the monsters would not be as simple as expected. The mysterious creatures blocked everyone's path, creating an unexpected obstacle before the final challenge. Garden and Caliura confirmed the monsters absorbed magic, causing their attacks to lose effectiveness. Despite Kaliura's warning, several students launched spells together, unaware their strategy would likely fail. Kaliura stopped the students from casting spells, explaining their attacks only strengthened the monsters further. She revealed that ordinary weapons were useless, while magic-coated weapons offered chance to fight. Facing the mage hunters, Kaliura and Garden struggled to find an effective method watching from afar. Kyle and Sir Sykes concluded the monsters were never intended for students. As the battle worsened, Sir Sykes decided to help despite hearing those students insult him before. Sir Sykes declared his intention to help the struggling students, believing responsibility came with his status. Before leaving, Sir Sykes remembered Kyle still possessed something important that belonged to him. Kyle returned. Sir Sykes repaired magic sword, surprising him because the restoration seemed nearly complete. Although grateful, Sir Sykes learned Kyle had not fully finished the sword's final adjustments. As Sir Sykes activated the weapon, a powerful reaction emerged and revealed hidden potential within. Kyle discovered a powerful blue-flamed dragon spirit dwelling inside the sword and observed its presence. It explained that anyone gaining its approval could unleash far greater firepower than before. Remembering his recent failures, Kyle admitted his weakness, apologized, and promised to become much stronger. Holding the sword, Kyle asked the dragon spirit to lend its strength again. The dragon accepted Kyle's determination, and a powerful transformation began surrounding his body with blazing energy. Kyle encouraged his friends to continue forward, but a sudden attack interrupted their movement. One horned monster launched Garden through the air. While students watched in complete shock, Kaliura fought back with powerful magic, but a monster struck her before she could recover. Despite severe injuries, Kaliura ordered the students to escape while she remained behind fighting. The frightened students questioned their instructors, criticizing the academy for allowing such dangerous circumstances. The students panicked after witnessing two enormous monsters, realizing the examination had become dangerous. Sykes and Kyle stepped forward, preparing to protect everyone while confronting the powerful enemies. Sykes questioned why Class F students arrived there, while Kyle revealed the monster's special ability. After warning Sykes about the monsters, Kyle charged ahead and launched an attack without hesitation. Kyle struck one monster, surprising everyone as he continued fighting, despite the overwhelming threat. The shocked students watched closely as Kyle stood between the two powerful monsters. Kyle gathered his strength, formed a stance with his hands, and prepared his next move. At the Magic Forest control room, teachers discovered chaos as monsters absorbed magic and students remained trapped. Freya analyzed the incident and suspected someone had orchestrated the disruption during the class session. Kyle unleashed powerful magic, destroying threats and shocking everyone who witnessed his strength. The group realized a massive barrier surrounded the garden, preventing escape and increasing confusion. Freya concluded the planned boss was ordinary, while the magic absorption monster caused the disaster. Freya realized an unknown culprit had separated the students with a barrier while transforming monsters inside. After issuing commands many times, Freya discovered the forest's central magic tools no longer responded, feeling responsible for the disaster. Freya attacked the barrier herself, despite knowing success seemed unlikely. Freya instructed Raygod to continue disrupting the magic tools while she challenged the barrier. Realizing the students faced grave danger, Freya placed her hopes on Kyle reaching them soon. Kyle noticed the monster's crystal core absorbed every trace of magic, making ordinary attacks completely useless. After understanding the weakness, Kyle devised a strategy and rushed forward without relying on magic. Kyle concentrated magic inside his body, strengthening his bones and muscles while targeting the crystal. Using Storm Fist, Kyle shattered the crystal with his bare hands and defeated the monster. Sykes realized his transformed sword contained excessive magic power, allowing the monster to recover. Kyle explained that the monster's absorption ability no longer mattered and urged Sykes to release everything. Although others feared the monster would absorb the magic, Sykes understood Kyle's intended approach. Kyle revealed his strategy involved destroying the crystal physically before finishing the weakened monster. Sykes realized another option remained and prepared to absorb the overflowing magic covering his sword. As the blue flame spread across Sykes, he called upon its power to fight together. Sykes unleashed Magic Power Storm, releasing overwhelming energy that exceeded the crystal's absorption capacity. The massive attack engulfed the monster, while Sykes pushed forward despite his exhaustion and injuries. After the explosion ended, the students praised Kyle and Sykes for defeating the unusual monster. While reviewing the incident, Kyle noticed several strange details surrounding the monsters and missing students. Kyle concluded another force was manipulating events behind the scenes, making the academy crisis suspicious. After the monster vanished, The wall of wind and water shattered, leaving Kyle confused. A mysterious hooded figure appeared before the students and praised Kyle and Sykes for surviving. Kyle questioned the stranger's identity, while the hooded figure prepared another move first. The hooded figure raised a staff and created a shadow barrier, trapping everyone inside again. As teachers approached from outside, the stranger summoned skeletal creatures and began the next attack. Kyle watched countless skeletons emerge from the darkness and realized the threat had grown far worse. The hooded stranger revealed the Lich King, ruler of undead armies, causing fear among exhausted students. As the Lich King's miasma spread outward, several students collapsed and lost consciousness. Kyle recognized the miasma's source and understood the hooded figure had caused the suffering, enjoying their despair. The hooded figure commanded the undead army while surrounding Kyle from every direction. Kyle declared that titles meant nothing to him and warned the enemy against harming friends. The hooded figure launched a raid against Kyle and the Lich King, escalating the battle. The hooded figure mocked Kyle, claiming no one could overcome the overwhelming undead army. Kyle remained calm and considered several methods for defeating such numbers, despite the danger. After gathering light magic, Kyle wondered whether he should end the entire battle instantly. The hooded figure ridiculed Kyle's confidence, believing a child could never destroy every zombie. Kyle unleashed a massive light spell, illuminating the battlefield and surrounding the undead army. The hooded figure panicked after witnessing Kyle expand an enormous magic circle across the battlefield. Kyle instructed his companions to ignore everything they were about to witness before saying goodbye. Using Land of Light, Kyle unleashed a vast purification spell that engulfed every undead creature. The hooded figure and Lich King watched helplessly as the undead army vanished within seconds. After destroying the zombies, Kyle received praise from everyone, while Sykes watched silently behind. Kyle approached the hooded figure and challenged Red Cape after defeating the undead servants. Everyone watched in shock when the supposedly defeated Lich King appeared before Kyle again. The Lich King declared Kyle's light magic ineffective, leaving the students and Sykes completely stunned. Red Cape admitted Kyle's earlier magic impressed him, but claimed ordinary physical attacks remained ineffective. Red Cape revealed the Lich King once possessed immense magic power and still served a superior. Kyle realized the Lich King was a legendary monster that normally existed only within ancient records. As corruption spread through the forest, the hooded figure warned everyone would eventually suffer the same fate. The hooded figure panicked after discovering an unknown force had sealed his magic power. Kyle revealed he created a barrier to prevent further destruction from spreading across the forest. Smiling, Kyle suggested the enemy's overwhelming magic might simply be testing his abilities, while everyone remained confused. Kyle smiled and decided to reveal another overwhelming spell. Red Cape unleashed dark flames, capable of consuming everything, but Kyle responded without hesitation. Kyle raised his hand, creating a brilliant light that illuminated the battlefield and shocked Red Cape. Kyle revealed he had condensed the immense power of Land of Light into one point. Although Red Cape mocked the attack, the Lich King attempted to devour the condensed light. Kyle's attack pierced through the darkness and transformed into a towering pillar of light. The brilliant beam shattered the dark barrier, while the surrounding corruption gradually disappeared afterward. After the explosion ended, only the Lich King's nucleus remained as a small black sphere. Holding the nucleus calmly, Kyle asked Red Cape what he planned to do next. Red Cape stared at the battlefield in disbelief. After Kyle erased the undead army effortlessly, unable to understand the outcome, Red Cape questioned how Kyle buried the Lich King instantly. Kyle's overwhelming victory convinced Red Cape that no Academy student should possess such power. Despite his defeat, Red Cape remained determined and refused to let the confrontation end there. Kyle asked Red Cape's next move, while the shaken enemy struggled to hide fear. Red Cape trembled uncontrollably before Kyle, realizing the smiling boy remained calm after victory. After learning Kyle's full identity, Red Cape vowed to remember his name for years. Attempting to escape, Red Cape activated a teleportation stone before anyone could stop him. Kyle fired a wind bullet immediately, striking Red Cape and interrupting the escape attempt. Before disappearing, Red Cape promised they would meet again and challenged Kyle to remember him. Before escaping, Red Cape swore their next meeting would bring Kyle's downfall and ultimate defeat. After Red Cape vanished, Kyle noticed the strange magic stone embedded within the enemy's face. Relieved by everyone's safety, Kyle received grateful hugs and heartfelt thanks from his classmates. Freya and the teachers arrived, checking the students' condition after the dangerous incident. Kyle explained that Red Cape likely orchestrated everything, though another accomplice appeared involved behind-scenes teacher. Ray and Freya discovered Kyle and Sykes had defeated the magic-absorbing monsters responsible for the chaos. Kyle acknowledged Sykes' contribution, while Teacher Ray shifted attention toward rescuing remaining students across the forest. The forest's recovery function activated again, transporting injured students away and restoring safety everywhere. Sykes sensed his borrowed magic fading and decided to leave before losing power. Kyle rushed forward and hugged Sykes, preventing his departure and leaving everyone around them shocked. After the fierce battle, Sykes recognized that everyone combined their efforts and overcame impossible odds together. While walking beside his companions, Kyle hoped they could return safely and reflect on everything. Concerned about lingering threats, Teacher Ray focused on evacuating students before discussing future plans. Hearing the group's wishes, Sykes found himself included as everyone desired a complete reunion. For the first time, he openly admitted that Kyle's actions had prevented a devastating tragedy. Freya recalled Kyle's wish to return together, leaving her surprised by the unexpected sincerity behind it. Showing a rare smile, Sykes accepted the invitation and chose not to reject Kyle's goodwill. Impressed by Kyle's actions, Freya entrusted future hopes to him despite her personal motives. Meanwhile, Kyle reflected on recent events, believing the outcome had exceeded his expectations. Before discussing further matters, Teacher Ray redirected everyone's attention toward the ongoing student evacuation effort. Teacher Ray explained that numerous unexpected incidents disrupted the exercise, making the battle records unreliable. Taking responsibility for the confusion, the teachers decided students should not bear consequences from today's events. Before anyone could object, Teacher Ray ordered the evacuation process to continue, without delay. After reviewing the situation, Kyle, Sykes, Katie, and Delia were exempted from immediate evacuation. Freya accepted responsibility for guiding them, while Kyle volunteered to support the exhausted Sykes. With the battle finished, Kyle and his companions left the forest, relieved everyone survived the dangerous ordeal. Outside the academy, Freya informed Kyle that the principal requested a complete report regarding today's events. Soon, Kyle entered the office and met President Talentless Iliad, the academy's respected leader. After inviting Kyle to sit, Talentless revealed he already knew the purpose behind this meeting. The president questioned Kyle about defeating the monsters and confronting the mysterious caped man. While answering the president's questions, Kyle struggled to explain his light magic and unusual abilities clearly. Suddenly, a familiar woman appeared beside Talentless, causing Kyle's attention to shift away. To Kyle's surprise, the visitor was Master Milna, his mentor, who shared connections with Talentless. Hearing that Milna and the president already knew each other left Kyle confused about many things. Shifting the discussion, Milna brought up the Academy's seal and hinted at an important investigation. She explained another incident had delayed her actions, forcing her to stay away. Finally, Milna asked Kyle to investigate the matter, presenting the task as an important favor. Deep beneath the Academy, a chained magic beast remained sealed for years, while legends claimed the former dragon burned intruders. After hearing about the sealed dragon, Kyle questioned Milna about its presence, sensing something unusual within the Academy. Rather than dismissing his curiosity, Milna explained that the seal concealed hidden secrets beneath the abandoned Study Hall. Upon reaching the area, Kyle learned the ruined building contained immense sealing magic, preventing repairs and preserving its condition. As Jiol and Milna discussed past investigations, Kyle finally understood the neglected structure hid problems far beyond rumors. When Kyle questioned the hidden seal beneath the Academy, Milna explained their investigation required locating its concealed entrance first. Milna revealed that conflicting magical forces caused the entrance to change positions often, while the powerful seal remained active. After hearing those details, Kyle wondered whether the dragon itself remained dangerous, despite decades of confinement beneath the Academy. Recalling previous investigations, Milna described witnessing dense miasma around the dragon and emphasized protecting the ancient magic chain Jiol, then reminded Kyle that tracking a shifting entrance and facing a powerful dragon would test even exceptional students. Excited by the mysterious seal investigation, Kyle volunteered immediately, convincing both Milna and Jiol that his enthusiasm deserved consideration. After hearing Kyle's determination, Jiol accepted his participation and shifted the discussion toward important details surrounding the investigation gathering inside the Academy. Jiol explained that Kyle's unusual extracurricular activities had prompted questions requiring careful answers. With Jiol requesting complete honesty, Kyle prepared himself and recalled the strange events connected to recent Academy incidents. As the explanation began, Kyle described encountering hidden figures, dangerous monsters, and a terrifying Lich King underground. After discussing Tartarosius, Jiol formally thanked Kyle for saving the Academy, acknowledging his actions during the recent crisis. Embarrassed by the praise, Kyle tried stopping Jeol's respectful gesture, believing such recognition exceeded anything he deserved. Meanwhile, Milna suggested offering Kyle a special reward, prompting Jeol to consider a meaningful way to repay him. Following her recommendation, Jeol declared that Kyle could have one wish granted through the authority of Royal Academy. Rather than responding immediately, Kyle listened as Jeol presented Milna's proposal, then considered what request would matter most. After hearing Jeol's proposal, Kyle accepted the investigation eagerly and promised to contribute whenever his abilities became necessary. Before leaving the office, Jeol arranged an introduction with another teacher involved in researching the Academy's mysterious seal. Returning to the dormitory waiting room, Kyle greeted his friends, who immediately questioned the principal's unexpected summons earlier. While everyone discussed recent events, Leonard excused himself, leaving Kyle curious about the matters occupying his thoughts. Not long afterward, Kaliura arrived with several students, drawing attention and creating another unexpected encounter for Kyle. Seeing Sykes nearby, Garden nervously confirmed that Kyle and Sykes had defeated the black monsters responsible for recent danger. Although shocked by the rumors, Garden thanked Kyle and Sykes sincerely, admitting that their actions had saved her life. As more students gathered, others explained that Kyle and Sykes not only protected Garden, but also helped evacuate classmates. Lowering her head before everyone, Garden apologized for her behavior during class, showing regret for her earlier attitude. With the tension fading among the students, Garden offered another apology, while her classmates accepted it without further complaints. After receiving heartfelt gratitude from rescued classmates, Kyle explained that helping fellow students was natural because everyone studied together. While the atmosphere relaxed, curious students gathered around Kyle, asking how he and Sykes managed defeating those monsters. Instead of giving detailed explanations, Kyle answered with simple enthusiasm, causing laughter among classmates who struggled understanding his story. Watching the crowd surround Kyle and Sykes, another student clenched his teeth before leaving the room alone. Standing beside the open window that night, the principal reflected on Kyle's potential and anticipated remarkable results from investigations. Concerned about the Academy Seal investigation, the principal selected Miss Relicia from the research tower, believing she offered the best chance. Upon entering the cluttered laboratory, Eliza found Miss Relicia surrounded by experiments, while another student reminded her about cleanup. Carrying several books, Eliza explained she had discovered a new mixture, and Relicia welcomed her arrival with interest. As bubbling reactions filled the laboratory, Relicia examined the new mixture and suggested it marked uncertain events ahead. Watching the experiment continue, Relicia sensed something remarkable approaching, while Eliza observed the strange reaction with concern. One night after accepting Master Milna's request, Kyle revealed the Academy's secret seal and explained his investigation assignment. After hearing the principal's direct request, Kyle's classmates expressed disbelief, while he asked whether they would support him. Kyle enthusiastically proposed solving the Academy's hidden mystery together, drawing attention from Sykes and the other interested students. Although intrigued by the proposal, several classmates hesitated, questioning whether entering the sealed area would expose them to danger. Kyle explained that the seal had become a monster-filled maze, with a powerful dragon waiting deep beyond countless obstacles. After hearing Kyle's explanation, several classmates became interested in the mission. While he assured them the investigation remained manageable, Sykes accepted without hesitation, wanting to measure his current strength in battle after surviving the dangerous conflict within the forest. Encouraged by Kyle and Sykes, the remaining classmates overcame their doubts and agreed to participate in the investigation. With every member confirmed, Kyle proudly announced the formation of the SEAL investigation team, marking the beginning of their mission. As preparations continued, Eliza sensed unfamiliar voices beyond the soundproof barrier, causing Kyle and the others immediate concern. After sensing activity beyond the barrier, Eliza confronted Kyle's group, frustrated because her attempts to speak with them failed. Kyle explained the group was discussing confidential matters, prompting Eliza to suspect their conversation involved the Academy's hidden seal. Eliza introduced herself as a third-year Wind Attribute student and revealed Professor Relicia, Neve had sent her there, remembering the principal's arrangements. Kyle realized Eliza was connected to the teacher, awaiting him at the research tower. When Eliza invited Kyle to meet the teacher, she became surprised after discovering his entire investigation team intended to accompany him. Eliza assured Kyle's group that Professor Relicia welcomed excitement, then agreed to meet everyone without raising objections. After thanking Eliza for her help, Kyle and his companions followed her toward the research column with growing anticipation. Upon reaching the towering research column, Kyle's group admired the unfamiliar facility, while Eliza explained why few students visited. Inside the tower, The group discovered a massive spiral staircase, and Eliza guided them toward the upper research floors. While climbing the staircase, Kyle advanced eagerly ahead of everyone, causing his companions to struggle keeping pace behind him. As the group climbed the tower, a sudden tremor shook the staircase, prompting Eliza to suspect another experiment malfunction, rushing toward the source. Eliza discovered a laboratory overflowing with foam and scolded her teacher for acting alone. Inside the chaotic room, Professor Relicia Neve appeared, covered in residue, disappointed that her latest alchemy experiment failed. While examining the cluttered laboratory, Relicia remembered Eliza's warning about visitors and realized guests had finally arrived. Relicia greeted Kyle, Sykes, and their companions with curiosity, wondering why such a large group had sought her out. When Eliza reminded her about the principal's announcement, Professor Relicia suddenly realized she had forgotten the planned introduction. Embarrassed by her mistake, Relicia apologized repeatedly, while Eliza protested dramatically, and Kyle watched the exchange with confusion. After calming down, Relicia asked everyone to wait briefly, while Eliza began cleaning the laboratory's scattered materials. Seeing the enormous mess, Kyle offered assistance and used magic to organize books, tools, and documents throughout the room. Relicia and Eliza stared in surprise as Kyle sorted countless items efficiently, while Katie helped collect damaged materials nearby. After witnessing Kyle organize the laboratory effortlessly, Eliza called for Professor Relicia, unable to understand what had happened. Examining the spotless room, Eliza realized Kyle had manipulated wind magic with remarkable precision, exceeding anything she had witnessed. Overwhelmed by excitement, Relicia rushed toward Kyle, praising his talent and questioning where he learned such advanced magic. While Katie watched nervously, Eliza restrained Relicia, preventing the enthusiastic professor from overwhelming Kyle with endless questions. As the conversation continued, Relicia and Kyle discovered similar curiosity toward magic, convincing others they shared surprisingly compatible personalities. Kyle introduced himself to Professor Relicia and requested assistance with the Dragon Seal investigation, immediately capturing her complete attention. Excited by Kyle's involvement and determination, Relicia declared he would join the Academy's oldest unresolved mystery investigation. After reaching an agreement, Relicia promised to share every discovery she had gathered during her previous investigations. Before revealing her findings, Relicia requested all available information from Kyle's group, while Eliza observed the discussion quietly. On the previous night, Milna sensed the immense darkness surrounding the Academy seal beginning to move after a long period. While discussing the situation with Talentless, Milna revealed concern about the mysterious caped man and hidden spies inside. Talentless acknowledged the threat, warning that enemies would exploit the disturbance, making the seal investigation extremely dangerous. Despite the risks, Milna insisted the mission must continue and asked Talentless to place his trust in Kyle. Milna described Kyle as her only accepted disciple, a rare mage capable of using every attribute throughout history. After hearing Kyle's report, Professor Relicia reacted with shock upon learning that the seal's entrance existed within Study Hall. Relicia explained that the hall remained heavily restricted, making the discovery surprising even for teachers familiar with Academy secrets. Excitement quickly replaced her surprise, and Relicia announced that a special investigative tool would finally become useful. Proudly presenting her treasured magic glasses, Relicia claimed they could reveal hidden secrets and traces of ancient magic. Eliza and Katie admired the unusual glasses, while Eliza remarked that the accessory suited Professor Relicia perfectly. Professor Relicia explained that her magic glasses could detect magical energy, making them essential for locating the hidden entrance. Confident in her invention, Relicia revealed she had searched extensively before, yet ancient magic concealed the entrance's location. Filled with enthusiasm, Relicia assembled the seal investigation team, while Eliza worried the rarely used glasses might cause trouble. Eliza borrowed the magic glasses and volunteered to lead the search, believing she could locate the entrance efficiently. With preparations complete, the investigation team departed for the Forbidden Study Hall F, determined to uncover the seal's secrets. Using the magic glasses, Eliza carefully examined several locations throughout the study hall, hoping hidden magical traces would reveal clues. While exploring the storage section, Sykes discovered a suspicious empty space behind stacked materials and called Eliza immediately. The magic glasses finally detected a strong reaction nearby, prompting Eliza to gather everyone and investigate together. At the end of a narrow passage, the group discovered a strange door, lacking any handle, lock, or keyhole. Relicia recognized the formation as a traditional seal spell and activated a magic circle to open the entrance. After opening the hidden doorway, Relicia accepted the praise while announcing that the investigation would enter Dragon Seal today. The moment they approached the entrance, a concealed attack struck, forcing Eliza to deploy a wind barrier against the threat. Although the barrier stopped immediate danger, poisonous gas reached Eliza, causing her to cough and warn everyone to keep their distance away. Eliza revealed that poisonous gas was pouring through the doorway and declared the incident a trap for the group. Relizia's expression turned serious as dark fumes spread around, confirming someone had prepared defenses against intruders entering the sealed area. Seeing Eliza suffer from the poisonous gas, Kyle stepped forward without hesitation and promised he would support her immediately. Kyle cast Wind Net, creating a massive vortex that captured the spreading poison and pulled every dangerous particle together. After compressing the toxic gas into a dense sphere, Kyle explained the situation calmly, while Eliza prepared further action. Eliza rushed toward her teacher with concern, asking whether she suffered injuries after enduring the poisonous trap nearby. Relicia denied being injured and instead scolded Kyle, shocked that he focused on poisonous gas despite her coughing blood. Kyle held Relicia tightly and scolded her for risking herself again, while she insisted the injury was only minor blood. Still shaken by fear, Kyle apologized repeatedly and admitted he panicked because he worried something terrible might happen. After calming down, Relicia apologized to everyone for causing concern, explaining that anxiety sometimes overwhelms her judgment unexpectedly. When Kyle asked about their relationship, Relicia explained that her teacher was both a mother figure and sister. Relicia revealed that her teacher adopted her after she became an orphan, cared for her constantly, and raised her lovingly. Relicia told her teacher that she remained an irreplaceable person, explaining why seeing her injured caused overwhelming concern today. Embarrassed after revealing personal feelings, Relicia asked everyone not to become emotional and apologized for interrupting the investigation. The students thanked Senior Eliza for carrying an antidote and protecting them, while praising her quick decisions during danger. Eliza insisted she felt completely fine despite the poison, reassuring everyone before encouraging them to continue exploring ahead. Beyond the hidden entrance, the group discovered a staircase descending deep underground, leaving several students worried about its depth. As the investigation resumed, one student remarked that Kyle and Relicia shared remarkably similar personalities and attitudes. Far below, an unknown figure climbed the staircase alone, creating an uneasy atmosphere before disappearing from sight. After a long descent, the team finally reached the sealed destination, arriving together while anticipation spread among every member. Kyle and Eliza entered a vast chamber after clearing traps. The empty space seemed suspicious, suggesting a hidden entrance somewhere. Unable to search the enormous room efficiently, Kyle asked Eliza to use her special glasses and investigate further. Eliza quickly wore the glasses. Their effect activated immediately, allowing her to detect a concealed door within moments. Following Eliza's discovery, the hidden structure revealed itself. Suddenly, countless doors appeared, transforming the chamber into a maze. Kyle tested the glasses himself and witnessed the overwhelming sight. The group realized finding the correct path would be difficult. The documents mentioned only one correct entrance. Ignoring caution, the professor suggested testing every available door inside the maze. As the professor approached a door, a monstrous creature suddenly emerged. Kyle reacted immediately and neutralized the threat. The others questioned what happened. Kyle's swift action raised suspicion, and they wondered how he noticed danger. Kyle admitted he could vaguely distinguish the doors without glasses. The revelation surprised everyone and simplified their search. Examining the maze carefully, Kyle estimated more than 1,000 doors surrounded them, revealing the challenge remained enormous. Searching each door individually seemed impossible. Kyle considered that the correct entrance might contain a special mark left behind. Hearing that idea, the group remembered someone had already cleared this maze before. Kyle immediately focused on that clue, realizing the solution. Kyle thanked everyone. He believed their information was enough to locate the correct door. Kyle recalled Master Milna, the previous person who succeeded. Using magic, he began tracing the remnants she left. Kyle's magic expanded throughout the maze, covering every door. Eliza watched in amazement as his power continued increasing. Following Milna's magical trail, Kyle finally located the correct door. The group watched in surprise as he succeeded. A hidden signature confirmed the entrance. Milna had deliberately left magical traces so future visitors could find it. After opening the door, the group stepped forward together. The maze vanished, revealing a completely different world beyond. An endless landscape stretched before them, filled with floating lights and mysterious spheres. Everyone admired the breathtaking scenery. Curious about the floating orbs, the group examined them closely. The professor explained they contained different magical elements. After crossing the beautiful realm, the group reached a third door. The professor expected something important beyond it. The new area contained towering marble structures, Records warned that powerful monsters guarded this place and previous explorers vanished. Sykes inspected the walls while Kyle examined the surroundings. Their investigation confirmed the maze continued beyond the chamber. Kyle and Sykes analyzed the layout together. Although monsters were numerous, the smaller area seemed easier to manage. With the maze and monsters confirmed, the group discussed preparations. Kyle revealed they had already formed a battle plan. Kyle confidently announced he had found a route through the area. Sykes agreed and prepared to follow his lead. As danger approached, Sykes gathered immense magical power. Even Eliza noticed his energy rapidly increasing and taking shape. The condensed magic transformed into a gigantic fire spirit. Kyle signaled Sykes, and their planned combination attack began. Kyle unleashed a powerful hurricane while Sykes released Flame Saber. Their attacks merged seamlessly and struck forward together. The combined technique exploded across the battlefield, overwhelming everything ahead. The devastating blast cleared their path instantly. When the destruction settled, a deep passage appeared. Kyle and Sykes examined the newly opened route carefully. Satisfied with the result, Kyle led the group onward. Even the professor remained impressed by their combined magic. The party advanced through the tunnel toward the next area. Excitement grew as they approached the dungeon's depths. At the deepest seal area, they discovered a massive chained creature. Its ominous presence suggested a dangerous encounter ahead. After escaping the maze, the group reached the halfway point. Despite the unconventional strategy, their progress exceeded expectations. Kyle praised Sykes for the successful combination attack. Sykes credited Kyle's plan and learned a new combat approach. A nervous companion worried about future challenges. Kyle encouraged cooperation, believing teamwork would overcome the remaining trials. While Kyle and Sykes talked, the girl quietly doubted herself. She feared becoming a burden during future battles. The group advanced into the next elemental area. Powerful winds swept across the region, signaling another difficult test ahead. As the group entered the wind area, powerful gusts pushed against them. Everyone struggled to maintain their balance. Massive tornadoes blocked the path ahead. The professor concluded that only wind element magic filled the entire region. Seeing the danger, Kyle gathered everyone together. He instructed the group to stay close and remain calm. Kyle created a powerful wind wall around the party. The barrier stopped the surrounding winds and opened a safe route. While advancing through the area, someone questioned Kyle's abilities. They wondered whether he could also use earth magic. Sykes recalled Kyle's earlier magic from the forest. He suspected Kyle had secretly combined light and earth attributes. Analyzing the technique further, Sykes concluded the spell contained earth magic. Kyle's surprise confirmed the observation was correct. Kyle praised Sykes for noticing such details. Even others were impressed that he identified the hidden attribute instantly. Hearing the discussion, the girl became discouraged. She felt inexperienced and believed she contributed little during battles. The girl explained she mainly used wind magic because of a promise. Only emergencies allowed her to act differently. Kyle explained that restrictions only applied normally. When protecting his friends, he could ignore them and fight seriously. The group continued discussing the challenge ahead. Suddenly, someone noticed a strange phenomenon developing in the distance. Countless bubbles rose from beneath the cliff. At the same time, the fierce winds unexpectedly came to a stop. Confused by the sudden changes, everyone observed the floating bubbles. The unusual event transformed the atmosphere completely. The bubbles gathered together overhead and formed a giant fiery hand. The professor realized the elemental area had changed. The fiery hand descended toward the group. Realizing the danger, everyone immediately retreated while Sykes stayed behind. Sykes knew fire could not defeat fire directly. Instead, he attempted to redirect the enormous attack away. Before he could act alone, Kitty stepped forward. Revealing her water attribute, she ordered everyone else toward safety. Sykes warned that the enemy remained overwhelmingly powerful. Despite the elemental advantage, he believed the situation was dangerous. Determined to protect her friends, Kitty gathered water magic. She launched a powerful water ball at the giant hand. Kitty repeatedly launched water ball attacks, but the giant fire hand remained intact. Sykes realized her power was insufficient. As Kitty struggled, she remembered wanting to help everyone. Kyle's encouragement inspired her to continue fighting bravely. Kyle stepped behind Kitty and corrected her aim. He showed her how to direct the attack properly, to strengthen the spell. Kyle offered part of his magic. He guided the energy directly into Kitty. The transferred power surged through her body immediately. Overwhelmed by the sudden increase, Kitty struggled to control the magic. Kyle sensed a tremendous reserve of magic hidden within Kitty, and encouraged her to trust him so that power could emerge. Kitty placed complete faith in Kyle and her response triggered a surge of magical energy that spread across the battlefield. The others retreated to safety and observed from afar, while Sykes wondered whether Kitty truly possessed such extraordinary potential. A massive water ball formed above the battlefield, shocking everyone present and revealing a level of power nobody expected. As magic overflowed throughout her body, Kitty awakened her hidden strength and prepared a decisive attack against the fire. Kitty released the empowered water ball, creating a massive explosion that overwhelmed the fiery hand while the others watched anxiously. As the attack faded, Kyle praised Kitty's achievement, and she realized his guidance had revealed a path forward. The enormous cloud remained suspended overhead, astonishing the group, while everyone recognized that Kitty possessed extraordinary magical potential. Noticing intense heat spreading from the evaporating water, the professor located the next door and urged everyone forward. After confirming the doorway was safe, everyone entered quickly while Kyle remained behind and glanced toward the battlefield. Kyle decided to end the threat completely, saying farewell, before facing the remaining fire mass that still persisted. Standing near the doorway, Kyle created a massive water wall, using the barrier to contain the lingering danger. After ensuring his friends were protected, Kyle closed the door behind him and trapped the remaining threat outside. After entering the fourth door, the group discovered an ancient ruin guarded by dragon statues, though no active magic appeared nearby. As everyone examined the chamber, Delia suddenly stepped forward and proposed a strategy for handling the next challenge. Believing the others had spent considerable magic already, Delia volunteered to lead the expedition and protect the group. When the door opened automatically, the group grew cautious and advanced together, uncertain about what awaited beyond it. Beyond the doorway stood 10 enormous armored statues surrounding Delia, leaving the group stunned by the overwhelming sight. As Delia approached the statues, Eliza suddenly detected immense magical energy inside them and realized the guardians could move. The armored statues awakened immediately, radiating powerful magic throughout the chamber and confirming the group had entered a trap. Seeing the danger unfold, Kyle and Eliza shouted warnings, but Delia remained standing before the advancing enemies. Ignoring the others' concerns, Delia challenged the statues directly and ordered everyone else toward the exit behind him. Remembering Kitty's determination earlier, Delia wanted to prove his worth, while Kyle and Sykes feared the reckless decision. Kyle stopped Sykes from interfering, believing Delia possessed a strategy already, while the professor chose observation for the moment. Delia charged forward alone, drawing every armored statue toward himself and away from allies during the unfolding battle. Watching the pursuing knights converge, Delia realized the situation created an opportunity, despite the overwhelming danger ahead. Delia admitted lacking exceptional magical talent, continuing his desperate advance against the relentless guardians alone ahead. Despite his limitations, Delia pressed onward, determined to contribute something meaningful and protect everyone through courage rather than power. Delia remembered countless moments when friends supported him, convincing himself that helping others justified stepping forward. Surrounded by towering knights, Delia chose the vanguard position, believing courage could compensate for weaknesses in magical ability. When a knight launched a crushing attack, Delia raised an earth-block barrier, protecting himself from immediate harm while buying precious time. The armored enemy shattered through debris and dust, advancing relentlessly toward Delia, whose defenses remained fragile and strained under immense pressure alone. Even while trembling, Delia refused retreat, determined to contribute something meaningful and prove his worth beside companions who inspired him every day. As the knight prepared another crushing strike, countless wind threads erupted around its armor, binding movement and halting momentum instantly. Kyle arrived at the critical moment, using Wind Nest to restrain the enemy while calling Sykes forward without hesitation. Taking advantage of Kyle's opening, Sykes unleashed a fierce attack that shattered stone and armor across the battlefield. After the successful counterattack, Sykes acknowledged Delia's contribution, praising the distraction that created their chance for victory. Watching his companions fight together, Delia realized that strength comes from learning everyone's virtues and combining them effectively. Sykes told Delia that recognizing and supporting others was his greatest strength, leaving the overwhelmed boy searching for confidence. As enemies approached again, Delia reflected upon Sykes's words, wondering whether helping companions truly represented his unique talent. Called by name, Delia answered with renewed determination, encouraged by teammates who trusted him without hesitation or doubt. Watching from afar, the professors praised their harmony, noting how each student contributed different strengths toward shared success. Working together, the group overwhelmed several knights, and Kyle prepared a wind spear attack after Sykes created an opening. Gathering immense wind power overhead, Kyle multiplied his signature technique ninefold, concentrating destructive force into a single spear. The enhanced wind spear struck with overwhelming impact, tearing through clustered enemies and reducing their formation to shattered fragments. Even the professors stared in disbelief as the attack erased every knight simultaneously, leaving stunned silence across the battlefield. Discovering a clear passage beyond the destroyed guardians, Kyle casually suggested opening the next room, astonishing everyone present. Kyle led the group through a newly opened passage inside the dungeon. The students followed carefully while discussing his unusual method. As they advanced, Kyle noticed the shortcut greatly reduced effort. Meanwhile, the others relaxed, unaware of any immediate danger. The group suddenly reached a vast chamber where a massive black miasma surged from the depths and blocked their path. Eliza recognized the approaching miasma first. Kyle quickly gathered everyone together and raised a powerful wind wall for protection. The wind barrier resisted the miasma's advance. While protecting his companions, Kyle realized they had reached a dangerous area. Protected by Kyle's barrier, the group advanced deeper into the sealed area and reached the chamber where the dragon slept. The overwhelming miasma covered the palace. Eliza realized the amount far exceeded anything recorded in historical documents. Eliza warned everyone to remain cautious. As they proceeded, Kyle suddenly sensed a mysterious light within the darkness. Moments later, a gigantic figure emerged before them. The students froze in shock while staring at the terrifying presence. Kyle immediately recognized the creature as the sealed dragon. Remembering their mission, he focused on confirming whether the seal remained intact. Kyle examined the dragon's magic chains and confirmed the seal remained active. Relieved, the group prepared to conclude their investigation. As everyone relaxed, Sykes noticed Professor Relicia acting unusually quiet. Her behavior immediately drew the group's attention. Without warning, Professor Relicia stepped toward the dragon and the miasma. Kyle realized something was terribly wrong and called out. Before anyone could stop her, Eliza rushed forward. Determined to save Relicia, she ordered the others to remain behind. Eliza unleashed a powerful wind bomb toward the danger. The attack exploded violently, leaving the group anxiously searching for her. As the situation became critical, Professor Raygod suddenly appeared. His arrival prevented further disaster and shocked the entire group. Raygod immediately launched a flame arrow toward the danger. At the same time, Kyle protected Professor Relicia with Wind Wall. After ensuring Relicia's safety, Kyle stepped forward. Dark miasma spread across the chamber as Raygod confronted him directly. Raygod ordered Kyle to move aside and stop interfering. Refusing to retreat, Kyle stood firmly in his path. Surrounded by powerful magic, Kyle challenged Raygod without hesitation. The confrontation escalated as both prepared to reveal their true strength. Raygod unleashed a powerful combination spell, using wind to strengthen flames. Kyle immediately recognized the attack's hidden purpose. The enhanced flames bypassed Kyle and targeted Eliza instead. Realizing the danger, Kyle reacted without hesitation to protect her. Kyle expanded a giant wind wall around Eliza. The barrier blocked the incoming attack and prevented serious harm standing before the shield. Kyle firmly declared that Raygod would never reach his companions no matter what happened. Frustrated by failure, Raygod remained silent. Confused and frightened, the students demanded an explanation for his betrayal. Eliza thanked Kyle for saving her. Relieved that she was unharmed, Kyle lowered his guard for a brief moment. Without warning, Eliza stabbed Kyle from behind. Shock spread across the chamber as she declared her objective complete. Kyle struggled to understand what happened. Eliza revealed that bringing Professor Relicia to the dragon had been her true mission. Eliza's personality suddenly changed completely. Thanking Kyle for his assistance, she calmly bid farewell while everyone watched in disbelief. Eliza's betrayal left everyone stunned. Kyle collapsed to the floor with a blade in his back while his friends screamed. Ignoring the danger, the students tried to rush toward Kyle. Raygod stopped them, warning that the surrounding miasma was lethal. Watching the chaos unfold, Eliza laughed loudly. Confident and satisfied, she proudly declared that her plan had succeeded perfectly. The students struggled to understand the situation. Eliza's strange behavior and Kyle's condition filled them with confusion and fear. As Delia searched for answers, Sykes pointed toward Eliza. Realizing she held the key, the group focused on her. Unable to tolerate Eliza's actions, Sykes charged forward through the miasma. He declared that she had become their enemy. Eliza easily evaded his attack and mocked his recklessness. She warned that rushing through the miasma would only endanger him. Ignoring the risk, Sykes continued pursuing her. His determination surprised everyone, reminding them of Kyle's fearless attitude. Viewing the students as obstacles, Eliza decided to restrain Sykes. She cast Shadowbind and trapped him completely. With Sykes immobilized, Eliza ordered him to remain where he was. She intended to let the surrounding miasma consume him, refusing to surrender. Sykes broke free from Shadowbind with Fire Knife. His actions earned unexpected praise from Eliza. While Kitty's group treated Kyle's wounds, Raygod acknowledged Sykes' efforts. He admitted the students had already suffered enough. Raygod regretted failing to protect them earlier. Determined to make amends, he decided to personally handle the crisis. Stepping forward with renewed resolve, Raygod instructed Sykes to focus on Kyle. He declared that everything else was his responsibility. Eliza watched Raygod approach and mocked his determination. She warned that protecting his students might ultimately cost him his life. Raygod revealed that the Academy had only learned about Eliza recently. Her background raised suspicion among the Academy's investigators. Further investigations uncovered a shocking detail. Someone connected to the student body existed outside the Academy's official records. Raygod explained that the mysterious individual likely belonged to Vespero, the infamous shadow organization known as the Evening Star. Sykes immediately recognized the name. Vespero was a dangerous anti-aristocrat criminal group, responsible for terrorizing numerous countries. Hearing this, Eliza laughed with satisfaction. She mocked the Academy for eventually discovering the existence of the Evening Star. Raygod revealed that the Academy had suspected Eliza for some time. They only needed undeniable evidence to expose her identity. Having confirmed the truth, Raygod declared war on Vespero. He vowed that the Academy would destroy the organization, unfazed by the threat. Eliza turned toward Professor Relicia. She hinted that a greater power would soon assist her. Raygod immediately realized her intention and tried to stop it. Meanwhile, Relicia calmly announced that her task was complete. Relicia activated powerful unsealing magic above the chamber. As countless magic circles formed, their energy began flowing into the dragon. As the unsealing continued, the dragon's nest absorbed vast amounts of miasma. Raygod angrily accused Relicia of betraying the Academy. Sykes analyzed the situation and reached a conclusion. If Relicia was a traitor, she must have been connected to Eliza. Meanwhile, Relicia slowly regained awareness. Seeing Eliza beside her, she appeared confused and unable to understand her surroundings. Eliza warmly embraced Relicia and thanked her. She claimed that Relicia had finally helped fulfill her long-awaited wish. Smiling gently, Eliza promised a reward in return. She declared that she would give Relicia back what mattered most. Sykes questioned whether Professor Relicia had deceived everyone. Raygod explained that the Academy had thoroughly investigated every teacher. According to Academy records, Relicia had lived alone for years. Nothing suggested she had ever raised or adopted a child. The revelation shocked the students. Raygod concluded that Relicia's memories had likely been altered through powerful manipulation. Eliza revealed the truth behind the deception. Using dark magic, someone had overwritten Relicia's memories and created a false past. Eliza explained that she and Relicia had only met recently. The relationship Relicia remembered was an artificial memory from 2 months earlier. Relicia struggled to accept the truth. Even after learning her memories were altered, she still clung to those precious moments. With tears in her eyes, Relicia insisted they had lived like a family. The memories felt completely real to her. Eliza described the mother Relicia remembered. She recalled a lonely researcher, whom others considered strange, yet deeply cared for. Suddenly, Eliza's expression twisted with anger. She demanded to know how someone like Relicia could claim to be her mother. To Eliza, those fabricated memories were not comforting. What seemed like a happy family dream to Relicia was a nightmare. Explosions erupted throughout the sealed area. Startled by the destruction, the students watched debris scatter in every direction. Amid the chaos, Raygod and Sykes realized the worst possibility. The dragon's seal had finally been destroyed. A massive dark dragon emerged from the collapsing ruins, lying wounded nearby. Kyle opened his eyes and witnessed its awakening. Freed by Relicia's actions, the legendary dragon fully emerged from the ruins. Raygod and Sykes could only watch in shock. The dragon roared across the collapsing chamber, standing before the monster. Raygod prepared himself for a desperate battle. Recognizing the dragon's overwhelming power, Sykes ordered everyone to retreat. Raygod instructed him to take Relicia and escape. Before anyone could react, the dragon attacked. The students watched helplessly as Raygod was struck by the devastating blow. While chaos consumed the battlefield, Eliza quietly slipped away. Smiling to herself, she headed deeper into the ruins toward another objective. Deep within the ruins, Eliza finally reached her destination. Before her floated the legendary wind magic crystal, hidden from the world. Eliza revealed a special necklace crafted from wind spirit scales. Using its power, she successfully touched the crystal. She explained that only 8 forbidden crystals existed. Possessing even one granted enough power to threaten an entire nation. Confident in her success, Eliza prepared to claim the crystal. However, an unexpected force suddenly repelled her hand. The violent backlash knocked Eliza away from the crystal, shocked and confused. She realized the necklace had somehow failed. While examining the crystal's reaction, Kyle discovered the strange disturbance originated from an elemental conflict surrounding Relicia's artifact. Kyle confronted Relicia and revealed her wind attribute was artificial, leaving her shocked and unable to deny it. Before Relicia could react, Kyle summoned powerful wind chains that completely restrained her and prevented any escape. Kyle displayed a dark magic dagger and explained its wound should have remained impossible for normal healing. Standing alive before her, despite that wound, Kyle declared Relicia an enemy and concealed his survival method. Kyle explained that the strange sensation Relicia experienced came from an elemental conflict caused by her magical artifact. After exposing the flaw behind her wind power, Kyle stated that her organization still misunderstood many truths. Ignoring Relicia's anger, Kyle declared he would take custody of the crystal because wind remained his attribute. Relicia mocked his confidence and warned that the crystal would reject him, despite sharing the same attribute. To Relicia's disbelief, Kyle grasped the crystal successfully and sensed tremendous power flowing throughout his entire body. Kyle strengthened the wind chains, preventing Eliza from speaking, teleporting, or casting magic. He condemned her actions and denied forgiveness. Unable to escape, Eliza watched Kyle leave with the crystal. Before disappearing down the corridor, he challenged her. Back near the battlefield, Sykes searched the ruins and urgently called out for Professor Raygod after the chaos. Raygod emerged safely despite the destruction. Relieved, Sykes approached him, while Kyle remained unconscious nearby. Raygod ordered Sykes to escape with Kyle. Realizing the dragon was drawing in the surrounding air, he prepared to delay it alone. As the dragon prepared a devastating breath attack, Raygod reassured Sykes and vowed to protect the students from danger. Raygod unleashed his full magic power and erected a massive flame wall, standing alone against the dragon's attack. Struggling against the overwhelming force, Raygod desperately held the barrier together and prayed the students could escape safely. A sudden light wall appeared behind him, reinforcing the defense. Raygod and the students were shocked by the unexpected help. The source soon revealed itself. Kyle stepped forward calmly, apologizing to Sykes before preparing to act once again. Kyle asked for patience, promising explanations later. Determined to settle the crisis, he prepared to bring the battle to an end. Kyle Flayfield stepped forward and drew the dragon's attention, while others retreated. He prepared to face the monster alone. The students watched as the dragon focused on Kyle. Several observers noticed he seemed confident, despite the danger. Standing before the massive dragon, Kyle challenged its presence. The battlefield grew silent as everyone wondered which of them posed greater danger. The dragon abandoned its previous target and pursued Kyle. Delia and the others observed as he lured it away. After creating enough distance, Kyle reassured his companions through his actions. He remained unharmed and continued preparing for the battle ahead. Kyle examined the wound and revealed the dagger carried dark magic. His light attribute had neutralized the attack. The students realized Kyle had expected the attack beforehand. His actions made it appear he was injured, hiding his true plan. The girl recalled sensing Kyle's overwhelming magical power earlier. She believed that power could help break the seal but threaten her ambitions. Kyle had allowed the attack to happen. By doing so, he exposed the girl's motives and removed her trust. Kyle faced the approaching dragon alone. His mysterious strength left both allies and enemies questioning his true identity. Kyle launched several dark rings. The attack struck directly, forcing the enormous creature to react to his magic. The explosions revealed something. Kyle realized the dragon was concentrating miasma around itself, directing the strange energy as protection. Believing light magic might work better, Kyle gathered radiant power and prepared a new technique and rushed forward. Kyle unleashed Light Fist with full force. The brilliant strike pierced through the battlefield and slammed into the dragon. The impact scattered the miasma. Kyle discovered the dragon was not using dark magic itself, leaving him shocked by the revelation. Kyle pushed aside his doubts and rushed forward. Realizing the miasma strengthened the dragon, he focused on destroying its source. His light magic struck the dragon and dispersed large amounts of miasma. Soon, Kyle prepared to eliminate the rest. Before he could continue, countless chains emerged around the dragon. Kyle recognized them as powerful magical chains. The chains descended and wrapped around the dragon's body. Their appearance changed Kyle's understanding of the situation. Kyle discovered the truth behind the phenomenon. The chains were not sealing the dragon at all, they were supplying miasma and empowering it. Kyle realized the dragon was not being imprisoned. The chains fed it miasma, forcing the creature to endure endless suffering. As the ruins began collapsing, miasma spread across the area again. The professor urgently ordered everyone to retreat towards safety. Kyle created a powerful light wall around the group. While debris crashed down outside, the barrier protected everyone from danger. Understanding Kyle's intentions, the professor chose to trust him. He led the students away, instead of interfering with the battle. The students realized the truth. Kyle's magic was shielding them, and remaining nearby would only hinder his fight against the dragon. The group worried about Kyle's decision, while the professor accepted the situation. Suddenly, Eliza appeared within a strange magical phenomenon. Kyle called out to everyone with a bright smile. He promised to return soon, and asked them to wait. Although worried, Delia and the others trusted him. They promised to wait for his return, and hoped he would survive. After the group departed, Kyle faced the dragon once more. With no alternatives remaining, he prepared for a decisive battle. Kyle strengthened his resolve and released more power. Determined to end the conflict, he stopped holding back against the dragon. The dragon's memories surfaced before Kyle. Long ago it attacked a kingdom after losing its parents and seeking revenge. A legendary dragon slayer defeated the creature, but chose not to kill it. Instead, the dragon was sealed beneath the ground. Kyle learned a darker truth behind the legend. The mage responsible for the sealing condemned the dragon to endless suffering. As the battle continued, the chains began disappearing into the dragon's body. Kyle noticed a strange transformation freed from the restraints. The dragon grew far larger. Surrounded by collapsing ruins, it towered over Kyle with overwhelming presence. Standing among the collapsing ruins, Kyle noticed the dragon had stopped attacking. The creature's behavior suddenly became calm and unusual. To Kyle's surprise, the dragon urged him to leave. Realizing it remained conscious, Kyle carefully observed its condition. Kyle decided to help instead of fight. Using light magic, he restrained the dragon and began removing the miasma. Gathering immense holy power, Kyle activated total purification. Brilliant light erupted across the ruins and engulfed the dragon completely. The purification triggered a strange vision before Kyle's eyes. He found himself witnessing scenes that appeared connected to the dragon's memories. Within the dragon's memories, Kyle witnessed the creature's tragic past. The dragon suffered after losing its parents and homeland. A powerful dragon slayer eventually confronted the raging dragon. Their battle shook the land before the warrior finally gained victory. After learning the truth, the dragon regretted its actions. Consumed by anger, it had harmed many innocent people. Accepting defeat, the dragon asked the dragon slayer to end its life. It believed death was the only fitting punishment. The dragon slayer refused to grant that request. Instead, she showed compassion and proved that kindness could exist even after tragedy. As the miasma disappeared, the dragon's painful memories returned. The creature understood what had happened throughout its long imprisonment. Kyle reached out to the dragon. He assured the creature that its 1,000-year punishment had already been more than enough. The dragon's enormous body shrank into a small form. Holding it, Kyle encouraged the creature to forgive itself at last. Kyle continued sharing his honest feelings. He wanted the dragon to know that not all humans followed the same path. After listening, the dragon responded. For the first time in centuries, it accepted Kyle's words and began moving forward. After everything ended, the exhausted dragon curled up and fell asleep. Kyle watched the small creature resting. With the ruins collapsing around him, Kyle searched for a way home. While carrying the dragon, he noticed something ahead. A mysterious door protected by magic appeared in the empty space. Curious and cautious, Kyle approached and opened it. The moment Kyle stepped through, Delia, his classmates, and the professor rushed toward him. Everyone was relieved to see him safe. Kyle learned the group had remained behind instead of leaving. They had guarded the magical door together, waiting for his return. Kyle returned through the magical door carrying the sleeping dragon. His friends gathered around, relieved to see him safe. The professor explained that a rescue team had arrived. Meanwhile, Eliza had already been taken into custody for investigation. When asked about the creature in his arms, Kyle revealed the truth. The small dragon was the sealed dragon. The professor was stunned by the explanation. Unbothered by the reaction, Kyle declared that he would care for it. Ignoring the professor's protests, Kyle carried the dragon away. With the crisis finally over, he led everyone home. Back at the academy, everyone gathered around the sleeping dragon. Delia and the others became fascinated by its small appearance. The professor wondered how Kyle had befriended the dragon. Kyle explained that he had stopped the disaster. Kyle revealed his reasoning to the group. Since the dragon was no longer dangerous, someone needed to watch over it. The students agreed with the idea. Among everyone present, they believed Kyle was the only suitable person. Although he understood their decision, the professor remained cautious. He decided to consult the principal before making a final judgment. A formal investigation was held. The discussion focused on the purified dragon and the mysterious crystal found beneath the seal. The professor reported everything to the principal together. They examined the consequences of both discoveries and considered future actions. Following Kyle's request, the primordial magic crystal was entrusted to the principal. Meanwhile, the tiny dragon remained under Kyle's protection. Later, Kyle reflected on the recent events. He suspected the primordial crystal had played an important role in purifying the dragon. While considering these mysteries, Kyle received contact from Talentless. As new questions emerged, he accepted another challenge ahead. While caring for the sleeping dragon, Kyle received a magical communication. A witch named Talentless apologized and shared new information. Talentless explained that she had discovered Vespero's former hideout. However, the information appeared outdated and no longer reliable. When she investigated the location, she found only a monster nest. The hideout had already been abandoned long before. Kyle listened as Talentless mentioned another lead. She brought up a mysterious treasure known as the Dragon's Hoard. According to an old legend, a hero once saved a dragon. In return, the dragon agreed to guard a valuable treasure. After the battle, Kyle learned that Professor Relicia remained unconscious. The effects of the altered memories had not disappeared. Talentless admitted she was still concerned. She wondered whether Relicia would eventually recover the memories she had lost. Kyle explained that removing Vespero's magic was difficult. Even after the spell broke, traces of its influence could remain. He believed Relicia was still holding on to the false memories. Those lingering fragments continued affecting her mind and emotions. Understanding the situation, Kyle decided to visit her. Determined to help, he headed toward Relicia's room while Delia watched from behind. As Kyle prepared to visit Relicia, Kitty rushed over in panic. She reported an emergency involving the unconscious professor. Kyle arrived and found a powerful magical barrier blocking the room. The principal recognized it as Relicia's sealing magic. The explanation became clear. After entering to see the prisoner, Relicia had sealed the entire path behind her. Kyle worried that something had happened inside the room. Kitty asked whether he could remove the barrier himself. The principal shook his head and explained the problem. Since it was Relicia's strongest sealing spell, only Relicia could safely undo it. Kyle used his purification magic to remove Relicia's powerful seal. The barrier shattered, revealing a hidden prison beneath the academy, carrying the sleeping dragon. Kyle entered the prison and found Relicia waiting calmly. She seemed to expect his arrival. The mysterious mage appeared beside Kyle. After confirming the seal's removal, she stated that her task was complete. Relicia admitted her memories with the imprisoned woman were false, yet she still wished to settle unfinished matters. After speaking with Relicia, the mage thanked Kyle for restoring Relicia's memories. Kyle quietly watched as she departed. Kyle visited Relicia's cell while carrying the sleeping dragon. Curious about her meeting, he wondered what the mysterious woman said. Relicia revealed that the woman thanked her. She realized she could connect with others and no longer felt isolated. Despite her gratitude, Relicia asked Kyle to remove her chains. Kyle refused and questioned her reaction instead. Kyle explained the chains would remain. Before leaving, he asked permission to share a personal thought. Kyle thanked Relicia for restoring Professor Relicia's true memories. Surprised by his sincerity, she quietly watched him leave. Left alone in her cell, Relicia regretted dispelling the memory magic. She realized the situation had become far worse. Before leaving, the eccentric mage encouraged Relicia to atone for her mistakes and promised to visit again someday. Relicia dismissed the suggestion, yet after everyone departed, she quietly reflected and showed a rare smile. Later that night, Kyle returned to his room and prepared a magic circle around the sleeping dragon. When the dragon awakened, Kyle introduced himself. The dragon revealed it had no name and noticed their magical bond. Kyle noticed the dragon had lost much of its former power. He promised to help it recover gradually. The dragon reflected on Kyle's actions. Despite knowing him briefly, it had already witnessed his unusual character. Observing Kyle closely, the dragon recognized his exceptional kindness and believed such a person rarely survived easily. However, the dragon sensed immense power within Kyle, a force capable of achieving impossible things beyond imagination. As it studied Kyle further, the dragon felt an overwhelming presence and compared him to a godlike being. The dragon explained that it accepted the covenant only because of Kyle's character. Kyle appreciated the dragon's honest judgment. Kyle activated the covenant formally. The magical contract established rules, linking their mana, locations, thoughts, and responsibilities. After the agreement was completed, the dragon officially became Kyle's servant and accepted the covenant under a new identity. Kyle chose the name Noir for the dragon, believing it matched the creature's dark scales and distinctive appearance perfectly. Hearing the unfamiliar name, Noir questioned its origin, prompting Kyle to explain that it came from a distant country. After considering Kyle's explanation, Noir accepted the name, allowing the Covenant to acknowledge their agreement and partnership. With everything settled, Kyle welcomed Noir as his companion, and Noir accepted him, marking the beginning of their journey. At the Royal Magic Academy, the first semester ended. Kyle Flayfield and his classmates discussed summer plans before leaving campus. Kyle's friends planned training and family visits during the break. After sharing their intentions, the students parted ways. Kyle boarded a carriage and traveled home, excited for the reunion. He looked forward to seeing his adoptive parents. Arriving at the mansion, Kyle was warmly welcomed. His mother embraced him happily while his father examined him. During summer, Kyle rested and trained while other students improved themselves. When vacation ended, everyone returned for the second semester. At Lakewood Mansion, Leonard Lakewood prepared to leave. His father ordered him to restore the family's honor at the festival. Leonard accepted the expectation without hesitation. Determined to become the Academy's strongest student, he aimed for victory this year. Before departing, Leonard received encouragement from his mother. Confident in his talent, she believed he would achieve success. After Leonard left, his father remembered another participant. He learned that Kyle Flayfield would also attend the festival. The couple mocked Kyle's academy placement and background. Nevertheless, Leonard's father remained concerned about the mysterious boy's presence. While discussing the upcoming school festival, several adults showed interest in Kyle, viewing him as a valuable opportunity. After summer break ended, Kyle returned to the academy, greeting classmates warmly and expressing happiness that everyone remained healthy. Surrounded by curious students, Kyle listened as they shared stories from vacation and asked questions about recent experiences. Moments later, Kyle noticed his close friends gathered together, and their unexpected greeting left him surprised and confused. Smiling at Kyle's reaction, his friends asked whether his magical abilities had improved during summer, beginning their reunion conversation. During their reunion, Kyle's friends explained their training progress, sharing lessons from family guidance and practice inspired by him. As the conversation continued, one student asked about the dragon, and Kyle revealed it was recovering inside his room. Nearby, a teacher overheard the noisy discussion and grew irritated, wishing the excited students would become quieter. Moments later, the professor entered the classroom and ordered everyone back to their seats, ending the lively gathering. After noticing the unusual silence, the professor questioned the students before receiving a loud greeting from the entire class. Professor Freya noticed every student from F class had returned for the second semester, something that rarely happened during previous years. Observing the classroom, Freya suspected Kyle Flayfield influenced the students greatly, helping them improve their confidence and determination. Satisfied with the class atmosphere, Freya encouraged the students to maintain their current spirit and continue supporting each other. Rather than starting ordinary lessons, Freya announced that the class would spend the day discussing the upcoming school festival. The students listened with interest as Freya explained that the festival featured magical performances presented before distinguished spectators. Professor Freya explained that the school festival would attract influential families and high-ranking Magic Association officials from across the kingdom. To inspire ideas, Freya suggested magical attractions, including cooking demonstrations and earth-made mazes, before asking students to discuss. While others struggled to contribute suggestions, Sykes considered the question carefully. Soon, Kyle asked whether he had any ideas. After thinking seriously, Sykes proposed an endurance challenge where visitors faced magical attacks, testing their resilience against various obstacles. The group rejected Sykes's dangerous proposal at once. Kyle requested a safer concept, encouraging him to avoid violence entirely. After rejecting Sykes's proposal, Kyle suggested creating a haunted house attraction. His classmates reacted with confusion and curiosity. Since nobody understood the concept, Kyle explained it carefully. Interested students gathered around, eager to hear his unusual idea. Listening to Kyle's explanation, Sykes realized the attraction would create supernatural experiences that visitors could never encounter elsewhere. The proposal gained support immediately. Kyle offered several useful spells, while a classmate suggested using the abandoned dormitory. With no objections raised, F class officially chose the haunted house project. Excitement spread quickly as everyone anticipated preparations. After approving the haunted house project, Professor Freya reminded F class to choose a leader who could organize preparations efficiently. Without hesitation, the students selected Kyle as their leader, determined to succeed. He began assigning important tasks. Before discussions continued, Freya revealed another major attraction. She explained that the prestigious Magic Battle Festival would conclude celebrations. Hearing the announcement, Kyle and his friends paid close attention. The festival's reputation made them curious about its significance. Deep inside the training forest, Leonard Lakewood displayed overwhelming lightning magic. Spectators praised his strength and predicted a championship victory. Elsewhere, Leonard Lakewood continued training in the forest. After defeating an ogre, he declared confidence in his noble power. To prepare the haunted house project, Kyle, Keaty, Sykes, and Leonard traveled together into the capital city for supplies. After purchasing several required items, Kyle admired the capital's scenery and thanked his friends for helping navigate unfamiliar streets. When Kyle mentioned needing fabric, Keaty recommended a tailoring shop she knew well from growing up in the capital. Following Keaty's guidance, the group visited the shop. The owner warmly welcomed her and happily asked about their visit. Kyle explained their festival plans and requested large black and white cloths. Hearing this, Miss Mithra became interested. Miss Mithra led the group into a massive storage area. Using spatial magic, she revealed countless fabrics organized neatly inside, drawing materials from distant shelves with magic. Miss Mithra quickly gathered several options and invited the students to inspect them. After hearing Kyle's requirements, Miss Mithra recommended special black fabric that blocked light and durable white cloth for concealment. The students approved the selections immediately. Pleased by their reaction, Miss Mithra teased Kitty while preparing the purchase. While finishing the order, Miss Mithra mentioned another fabric requested by Kitty's mother. Embarrassed, Kitty hurriedly changed topics. After completing their purchases, Kyle and his friends thanked Kitty and Miss Mithra before promising to return the next day. As preparations continued smoothly, Sykes reminded Kyle that measurements were still needed before the black fabric could be used. Seeing Kyle's poor sense of direction, Sykes suggested exploring the capital alone since a group leader needed independence. Although nervous about wandering through unfamiliar streets, Kyle accepted the advice and decided to learn the city's layout. After separating from his friends, Kyle explored the bustling capital alone, encountering unusual sights and meeting several friendly merchants. While exploring the capital alone, Kyle reflected on the city's wonders and exciting magical discoveries he had experienced today. Kyle suddenly noticed an unusual disturbance ahead, sensing chaotic mana fluctuations that seemed completely out of place nearby. Hidden around a corner, Kyle overheard 3 armed men intimidating someone and realized the confrontation appeared increasingly dangerous. Observing their weapons and aggressive behavior, Kyle understood the situation was serious and required immediate attention before escalation. A mysterious young woman appeared and yawned calmly, causing the furious attackers to question whether she respected them. While exploring the capital, Kyle witnessed several thugs targeting a young girl. The situation turned dangerous without warning. Reacting immediately, Kyle cast a wind barrier around the attackers. Trapped inside, the criminals panicked as the girl escaped. Kyle grabbed the girl's hand and led her away. After creating distance, they stopped where pursuit seemed unlikely, believing the danger had passed. Kyle commented on the criminals' bold actions. The girl remained quiet and watched him. As Kyle prepared to leave, the girl stopped him and requested his name. Surprised, he turned back toward her. After a brief silence, the mysterious girl introduced herself as Yuna. Kyle responded warmly and shared his own name. Before parting ways, Yuna thanked Kyle for helping her. Although reserved, she showed clear appreciation for his actions. Once Kyle departed, Yuna remained standing alone. Hidden observers emerged and recognized that Kyle attended the Royal Magic Academy. Angered by their earlier failure, the criminals swore revenge against Kyle. They threatened punishment for interfering with them. Yuna dismissed their threats without concern. With overwhelming power, she defeated the criminals instantly and warned them never to return. After returning home, Yuna was greeted by an older man. She briefly mentioned trouble in the city before entering. Back inside her residence, Yuna reflected on the encounter. Unlike before, thoughts of Kyle remained fresh in her mind. The story revealed Yuna's identity as Yuna Alvarez, former Magic Battle Festival champion, and an exceptional ice attribute magician. Her grandfather, Gial Alvarez, noticed her unusual mood immediately. Curious, he questioned what had happened during her outing. Amused by the situation, Gial teased Yuna relentlessly. He claimed someone had finally managed to make the Ice Queen smile. Hearing Kyle's image mentioned indirectly, Yuna became flustered. Gial realized his guess was correct and laughed confidently. With the festival approaching quickly, F-Class worked together inside the abandoned dormitory, finishing major construction and decoration tasks. After reviewing their progress, Kyle suggested testing the haunted house themselves. Curious, the students agreed to participate. Inside, the completed attraction, darkness, fog, damaged furniture, and scattered objects transformed the dormitory into a frightening environment. While exploring the haunted house, several students suddenly panicked. Startled reactions spread after they sensed movement nearby. Kyle explained that a small warm airflow caused the disturbance. He noted that darkness often made ordinary events seem terrifying. During another test, Kitty accidentally drenched a classmate while creating effects. Kyle encouraged her and praised her effort. Meanwhile, Sykes filled sections of the haunted house with floating wisps. Kyle approved the effect but suggested moderation. As sunset approached, the students hurried to complete decorations, props, and magical effects before darkness covered the area. After finishing the day's work, Kyle thanked everyone and prepared to leave. However, several classmates stopped him unexpectedly. The students gathered to discuss tomorrow's Magic Battle Festival qualifiers. Professor Freya reminded them that each class could nominate 2 representatives. Remembering the duel between Kyle and Sykes, one classmate volunteered confidently to represent F class during the qualifiers tomorrow. The student admitted he once hid his support for Kyle. Fear of F class's reputation prevented him from cheering. Everything changed after Kyle secured victory and inspired the class. For the first time, the student felt proud. Reflecting on recent months, he explained that Kyle's optimism transformed F class. Their classmates gradually gained confidence and purpose. Hearing those heartfelt words, Kyle stood speechless. Nevertheless, the class declared they would never give up again. Encouraged by recent progress, the students promised to support their representatives wholeheartedly. Their confidence surpassed anything shown before. One after another, classmates declared they no longer feared criticism. F class finally stood together with pride and determination. Listening to everyone, Kyle realized how much the class had changed. The students were finally enjoying academy life. Sykes reflected on the situation and jokingly suggested his earlier defeat started the chain of positive changes within F class. After acknowledging his troubled past, Sykes thanked the class for accepting him. Then he requested permission to speak. Sykes expressed gratitude for the kindness everyone had shown him. His sincere words left several classmates touched and speechless. Kyle quickly summarized Sykes's request, asking everyone to support them wholeheartedly. The class responded with enthusiasm and confidence. The students reviewed the tournament structure, learning that 2 representatives from every class would compete for victory. While discussing the festival's purpose, Kyle wondered whether lasting teamwork and friendship would bring happiness to everyone. As excitement spread among their classmates, Kyle quietly asked Sykes whether reaching the finals together could satisfy everyone. Sykes questioned Kyle's determination for the Magic Battle Festival. Kyle confidently declared his goal, making clear he intended to advance first. Kyle and Sykes strengthened their resolve together. The 2 first-year representatives promised to fight hard and claim victory in the tournament. The next day, students gathered at training room number 2. Excitement filled the academy as the qualification event began. Kyle and Sykes entered the nomination hall alongside other participants. Everyone waited eagerly as officials prepared to reveal the brackets. The tournament groups appeared before the students. Kyle discovered his position in the second bracket while Sykes carefully examined the matchups. A loud interruption drew attention as D-class students arrived, pushing through the crowd and creating tension among nearby competitors. Caligula from a class appeared beside his companion, mocking others openly, while his presence immediately captured attention across the gathering. Caligula approached Kyle and Sykes, recalling their previous encounter and expressing appreciation for how they changed his perspective. His gratitude soon shifted into hostility as he declared his determination to reclaim lost honor through today's competition. Sykes remained calm after the threat and prepared a sharp response, leaving Kyle curious about what would happen next. Standing beside Sykes, Kyle projected confidence while supporting his partner's statement, creating visible frustration among their rivals nearby. As hostile smiles spread across both sides, the stage became set for one academy's harshest tournament to begin. The Magic Battle Festival began as F class cheered for Sykes. Kyle watched the crowd while students mocked their enthusiasm. Several D-class students ridiculed F class, believing Sykes had no chance. Kyle remained calm despite their confidence and taunts. As the match started, Sykes unleashed overwhelming flames that spread across the stadium. The audience stared in shock and awe. Sykes dominated his D-class opponent with powerful magic. Unable to continue fighting, the opponent surrendered before the battle ended. The announcer declared Sykes as the winner. F-class erupted with excitement as Sykes advanced to the next round. Kyle entered the arena for the second qualifier match. His opponent, Red from D-class, underestimated him and expected an easy victory. While Kyle received support from F-Class, rumors about his achievements spread through the crowd. Many students dismissed them completely. As the battle began, Red threatened Kyle and prepared a powerful fire spell, believing overwhelming force would decide everything. Before Red could attack, Kyle created numerous wind spears. The sudden barrage shocked Red and forced him backward. Unable to continue fighting against Kyle's magic, Red withdrew from the match. Kyle secured victory and advanced to the next round. After securing his victory, Kyle watched another match conclude. The finalists were decided, and attention shifted toward the coming battles. Sykes challenged Kyle to settle their rivalry in the finals. Kyle accepted the challenge, while both remained focused on victory. The qualifiers ended with F-Class dominating every match. Kyle and Sykes advanced, proving their class was stronger than expected. The finals featured competitors from A-Class and F-Class. As the first match approached, the audience eagerly awaited the outcome. Garden entered the arena carrying a massive axe instead of a wand. His unusual weapon drew surprise and curiosity. Before the finals began, Kyle warned Sykes that Garden's massive axe could end the battle in a single strike. Sykes remained determined despite the danger. He declared his intention to overcome every opponent standing between him and victory. As the match started, Garden charged forward and swung his enormous axe with tremendous force, aiming to finish everything. Sykes reacted at the last moment and blocked the attack. The violent collision shook the arena and surprised everyone watching. Realizing Sykes had stopped his powerful strike, Garden understood his opponent was no ordinary mage. The battle intensified. Garden attempted to attack from behind using his flames, but Sykes anticipated the move and countered with precise magic control. Using his skills as a magic swordsman, Sykes overwhelmed Garden's offense. The crowd watched as the battle reached its conclusion. Garden realized too late that Sykes had closed the distance while using magic. His mistake left him unable to recover. After winning, Sykes helped the exhausted Garden stand. He admitted Garden's attack could have been dangerous with stronger magic support. The two left the arena together while discussing the battle. Garden acknowledged Sykes' strength and accepted the result. After the battle, Sykes acknowledged Kyle's potential. He hoped they could someday reach the highest level of magic swordsmanship together. The festival host announced the long-awaited final match. Excitement spread through the stadium as spectators gathered their attention. Kyle from F-Class and Caligula from A-Class entered the arena. Their confrontation would determine which class possessed the stronger representative. Before the match began, Caligula questioned Kyle about his wand. Kyle confirmed that he had not changed it. Caligula expressed complete confidence in victory. Kyle remained composed, meeting the challenge with a determined and unwavering gaze. Kyle and Caligula faced each other in the arena as the festival finals officially began. Both anticipated the decisive battle. The match started, but an unexpected phenomenon occurred. Students watching from outside struggled to understand what was happening. A massive field of electricity suddenly covered the stadium. The spectators lost sight of the contestants and grew anxious. Inside the barrier, Leonard attacked while his opponent suffered from the electric assault. Despite the pain, he refused to surrender, believing the situation offered a rare chance to prove himself. Leonard chose to continue fighting and pursue victory at all costs. Confident in the barrier's healing effect, Leonard intensified the experiment. He assured his opponent that death was impossible. With excitement, Leonard unveiled a new form of magic. The overwhelming power signaled the beginning of something unprecedented. As the final battle intensified, Kyle unleashed multiple wind spells in succession. Caligula's attack was completely blocked by his defense. Kyle counterattacked while maintaining control of the battlefield. Caligula was forced onto the defensive for the first time, without hesitation. Kyle continued bombarding the arena with wind magic. His relentless attacks prevented Caligula from gaining momentum. The spectators were amazed as Kyle's wind wall neutralized every incoming attack. Many believed victory was shifting toward him. Caligula relied only on long-range attacks. The audience found his approach suspicious and began questioning his intentions. Watching the battle, Garden realized Caligula's fighting style had a purpose. Kyle also noticed something hidden behind the strategy. Kyle believed Caligula was preparing a plan to defeat an opponent far stronger than ordinary students. The real battle had only begun. Caligula understood Kyle's overwhelming ability. His strategy focused on hunting powerful opponents and exploiting the smallest weaknesses available. Admitting the gap between them, Caligula recognized that Kyle's magic could stop even powerful monsters with ease. Direct attacks were ineffective. Refusing to surrender, Caligula enhanced his speed with wind magic. He rushed forward, determined to create an opening by himself. Caligula accelerated with wind magic and rushed toward Kyle. He intended to break through the wind fortress at close range. Kyle instantly reacted with his own movement technique. He evaded the attack and escaped before Caligula's spear could connect. Using agility magic, both fighters changed positions. The battle became a contest of speed, timing, and prediction. Kyle launched himself high into the air to avoid further attacks. Caligula searched for a way to reach him. Revealing his hidden trump card, Caligula unleashed a massive wind spear toward the sky. The spectators shouted as Kyle faced the incoming attack. Kyle acknowledged Caligula's strength. Before unleashing a powerful spell, countless streams of wind gathered together to form Wind Nest. The two wind techniques collided head-on above the arena. A blinding explosion erupted, forcing everyone to shield their eyes. When the light faded, the stadium had been devastated by the impact. The battlefield was reduced to a massive crater. Kyle landed after the explosion and searched for his opponent. His classmates wondered where Caligula had gone. Garden complained about the destroyed stadium, but the answer soon appeared. Caligula stood behind him, having survived the clash. Garden was shocked to find Caligula unharmed behind him. Caligula explained that escaping had been necessary to survive Kyle's attack. Recognizing the difference in power, Caligula calmly surrendered the match. The audience realized what that decision meant. Kyle was declared the winner of the final battle. F-Class celebrated enthusiastically, while Garden accepted that neither he nor Caligula prevailed. After the festival, Caligula revealed an important fact to Garden. She spoke about the Academy's strongest third-year student. Caligula explained that the student had achieved a legendary feat. She became the festival champion during her very first year. Caligula spoke about the Academy's legendary champion. Garden was stunned that such an achievement had been accomplished in a first year. While everyone celebrated Kyle's victory, Caligula suggested they might witness another miracle in the near future. The next day, Kyle and Sykes headed toward the Haunter House Festival. Along the way, they noticed a crowd gathered nearby. As they approached, several students rushed past carrying an injured person. The situation appeared serious and urgent. Kyle asked about the disturbance and learned an accident had occurred. Curious and concerned, he waited for further details. The students explained that the defeated finalist suffered no physical injuries. However, something during the battle had left him traumatized. Witnesses believed the student had seen something terrifying inside the arena. The mysterious incident became a topic of concern. As Kyle and Sykes listened, they noticed the former opponent leaving the area. His unusual behavior only increased their suspicions. Sykes recognized the student's strength and status. He revealed that the individual was the second-year representative. The representative introduced himself as Leonard, a user of Dark Thunder magic. Kyle realized the Academy's situation had become far more complicated. During the school festival, students shared a famous ghost story. An old fire in E-class dormitory had claimed a student's life. According to the rumors, strange whispers could still be heard. After class, many students claimed the spirit remained inside the classroom. Drawn by curiosity, Kyle, Sykes, and their friends entered the haunted building. The atmosphere felt unsettling and mysterious. Before the festival attraction opened, the group explored the ruined classroom. The burned remains created an eerie environment. Their guide explained that the classroom had never been restored. The Academy preserved it because the ghost rumors continued to persist. Before entering deeper into the haunted classroom, the guide gave everyone magic restraining bracelets to prevent accidents caused by panic. As they explored the ruins, the guide noticed a realistic burning smell. The atmosphere became unsettling and suspicious. Kyle suggested that traces from the old fire might still remain. Moments later, water suddenly appeared, confusing everyone present. The group discovered a room resembling a cemetery, complete with a coffin and eerie flames. Strange voices whispered about burning. Without warning, a skeleton burst from the coffin and screamed. The sudden appearance terrified the visitors and sent shockwaves through the building. The haunted dormitory successfully terrified its visitors. Even Professor Freya nearly lost control, proving the attraction's effectiveness. After leaving the attraction, Kyle proudly asked whether the haunted house had been a success. The others could hardly disagree. Freya complained that the experience had gone too far. Soon, stories about her reaction spread throughout the Academy. Combined with the ghost dormitory legend, the rumor became incredibly popular. Students everywhere discussed the frightening attraction. As the Grand School Festival officially opened, crowds filled the Academy grounds. The principal happily welcomed the largest attendance in years. The haunted dormitory became the festival's most popular attraction. Long lines formed as students waited to enter. Kyle was surprised by the overwhelming turnout. His classmates praised the haunted house and credited him for the successful idea. Motivated by the crowd's enthusiasm, F-Class prepared for another busy day. Everyone worked together to deliver an unforgettable experience. While managing visitors, Kyle was approached by Caligula and Garden. They had come to see the famous attraction for themselves. Garden mentioned the embarrassing rumors surrounding Professor Freya. The story had already spread throughout the academy and become widely known. Garden teased Professor Freya about the rumors surrounding her. Embarrassed and annoyed, she demanded to know what had been said. After hearing the details, Freya approved of the rumors. She believed they helped attract more visitors to the haunted house. Confident in the attraction's quality, Freya decided to experience it herself. Garden and Caligula regretted encouraging her. The frightening stories continued spreading among students and guests. As a result, F-Class's haunted house became even more popular. By the second day of the school festival, enormous crowds filled the academy. The number of visitors far exceeded everyone's expectations. Kyle's classmates noticed he had spent the entire day managing the haunted house, yet he stayed enthusiastic and motivated everyone. Kyle appreciated their concern and explained that sharing the festival experience with F-Class felt more enjoyable than resting elsewhere. As their conversation continued, Kyle mentioned his excitement about the celebration planned after tomorrow's Magic Battle Festival concluded. His classmates promised they would support him throughout the upcoming match, and Kyle gladly accepted their encouragement and trust. While operating the haunted house together, F-Class enjoyed the festival activities, strengthening friendships and creating memorable moments together. Distinguished guests arrived aboard elegant carriages, demonstrating that the Academy's festival had attracted attention far beyond nearby regions. People traveled from every corner of the country for a single purpose, hoping to witness the famous Magic Battle Festival. Kyle arrived at the Magic Festival alongside his adoptive parents. They observed the enormous arena and noticed many distinguished guests gathering there. As they continued toward the entrance, Kyle and his parents heard a familiar voice calling out to them. A cheerful boy stood before the academy building and raised his hand high. Kyle recognized him and watched with surprise. The boy approached the family with excitement after spotting them. Kyle's parents felt relieved and happy seeing him again. Kyle displayed his academy uniform to everyone present. His adoptive parents admired his appearance and praised their heroic son. Kyle reunited with Milna at the festival grounds. She revealed important information and requested a discussion regarding upcoming events. Milna suggested moving to the venue's common room. Kyle and his parents agreed after completing their long journey. The group entered the common room together. Suddenly, Kyle's adoptive father noticed familiar nobles and froze in disbelief. A nobleman recognized Kyle's adoptive father at once. He questioned his presence and demanded an explanation for appearing there. Kyle's adoptive father proudly explained his attendance. The noble couple reacted with shock after hearing Kyle represented the festival. Kyle's adoptive father became furious after hearing doubts about Kyle's achievements. He defended his son and rejected every accusation. Kyle watched the argument unfold before him. He noticed lingering tension between both sides but felt relieved nobody fought. Before the dispute continued further, a black-haired academy student entered the room. Kyle turned toward the unexpected newcomer. Kyle observed the student's resemblance to the noble family. The connection became clear as everyone focused on him. The student revealed himself as Kyle's biological brother. He requested a private family discussion while maintaining proper public decorum. Leonard defended Kyle before everyone present. He stated that Kyle earned his position through ability and deserved proper recognition. The tense atmosphere eased as Leonard rejected unfair criticism. Kyle's adoptive parents felt relieved after hearing his support. Leonard introduced himself to Kyle and apologized for the earlier disturbance. He proposed a fair encounter during the tournament. While extending his hand, Leonard released a small display of magic. Kyle recognized the challenge hidden behind that gesture. Before the situation escalated further, Matilda Ugal intervened and stopped Leonard. She prevented unnecessary conflict between both representatives. Ben Kadarka confronted Leonard about repeated misconduct since the qualifiers. He warned that several students and professors noticed everything. Matilda supported Ben's warning and explained that faculty members requested closer supervision. Leonard listened while hiding his frustration. Leonard responded with a provocative smile and implied neither representative could stop him if he truly caused trouble. Ben immediately challenged Leonard's attitude, while Matilda hurried to calm the situation before another heated confrontation started. Before tensions escalated further, Yuna Alvarez entered the room. Her sudden appearance caught Leonard, Kyle, Ben, and Matilda off guard. A powerful figure named Giol entered the room and warned everyone against disrupting the festival. His presence silenced tensions. Milna stepped forward and openly supported Giol's warning. She stated that responsible participants would never tolerate reckless behavior. Although surprised by the discussion, Kyle listened carefully. The others acknowledged Giol's reasoning, despite finding his approach excessive. Milna explained that the Magic Association and influential figures worldwide paid close attention to every festival participant. She emphasized that outstanding performances could shape a student's future. Success at the festival often brought prestige and recognition. Leonard reflected on the festival's significance and concluded that creating unnecessary conflicts would only waste a valuable opportunity. An announcement summoned all tournament contenders to the stadium. The students ended their discussion and prepared to depart. While walking toward the venue, Kyle apologized to Yuna for the earlier disturbance. She accepted his words without complaint. Jiol and Milna followed behind the students. Their conversation shifted toward Yuna and her connection to Milna. Jiol praised Yuna's strength and warned Kyle about facing her early. Milna responded by defending Kyle's abilities. Kyle overheard the discussion and accepted the challenge without hesitation. He intended to compete, using every ability available. Milna revealed her true evaluation of Kyle's potential. She believed his full strength exceeded even her own. As the competitors headed toward the tournament grounds, Kyle, Leonard, Yuna, Ben, and Matilda sensed major events approaching. The opening ceremony began before a packed stadium. An official welcomed the audience and invited all tournament contenders forward. Kyle Flayfield entered the arena as the first-year representative. The crowd watched attentively as he greeted everyone confidently. Additional competitors were introduced one after another. Sykes Old Delight and Matilda Ugal received recognition from the audience. Leonard Lakewood represented the second year, while Ben Kadarka represented the third year. Both received enthusiastic applause. The final introduction belonged to Yuna Alvarez. Her reputation as a multiple-time champion immediately drew tremendous attention. The 6 contenders assembled inside the arena before thousands of spectators, each participant prepared to compete for the championship. The officials reminded every contestant that rank and grade no longer mattered. Only strength and determination would decide victory. After a brief speech from the academy principal, the crowd erupted with excitement as the 200th festival officially began. The tournament bracket appeared above the arena. Kyle was paired with Matilda, while Leonard faced Ben and Yuna faced Sykes. Sykes examined the matchups and welcomed the challenge ahead. Facing the reigning champion immediately seemed like excellent fortune. Yuna reflected on the tournament ahead and wondered how her strength compared with Kyle. She wanted him to witness everything. The announcer instructed all contenders to enter the battlefield. The competitors advanced toward the arena while spectators watched eagerly. Kyle's adoptive parents grew nervous before the opening match. They worried because he would immediately face an older student. Many spectators dismissed the first-year participants before the battle began. They believed weaker students could not compete seriously. Milna remained calm, despite the criticism surrounding Kyle. She assured his parents that those opinions would soon lose significance. Kyle recalled an important lesson before entering battle. Against overwhelming strength, hesitation only created opportunities for certain defeat. The announcer declared the start of the opening match. Kyle reacted with excitement while other contenders observed calmly. Sykes encouraged Kyle before the battle began. He urged him to demonstrate his abilities and silence doubters watching. Kyle and Matilda stepped onto opposite sides of the arena. Thousands of spectators focused on their upcoming confrontation. Before the match started, Matilda addressed Kyle directly. She acknowledged the earlier incident and attempted to clear tensions. Before the battle started, Matilda questioned the rumors surrounding Kyle. She wanted to discover whether his reputation reflected reality. The opening match officially began, and Matilda launched herself into the air. Her immediate reaction surprised both spectators and Kyle. Determined to seize the initiative, Matilda created multiple water formations. She unleashed a barrage of water arrows toward Kyle. Countless projectiles rushed across the arena from every direction. The audience wondered how Kyle could possibly escape the attack. Kyle responded instantly with a powerful wind blast ball. The defensive technique shocked spectators and disrupted Matilda's assault completely. Kyle remained calm as Matilda studied him closely. She questioned whether the extraordinary rumors surrounding him were actually true. The battle ended almost instantly after Kyle's counterattack. Matilda realized something unusual about his strength and abilities. Spectators struggled to accept the result before them. Many refused to believe a first-year student defeated Matilda so easily. As discussions spread through the arena, Kyle's reputation attracted increasing attention. More people began questioning the truth behind rumors. The officials announced Kyle as the winner of the opening match. His supporters celebrated, while several contestants observed silently. After Kyle's victory, Jiol observed the arena from Yuna's waiting room. He encouraged her to evaluate Kyle carefully. Yuna acknowledged Kyle's success and expressed satisfaction with the outcome. However, she immediately considered the challenges awaiting him. While reflecting on Kyle's performance, Yuna focused on his next opponent. Leonard's presence made the upcoming battle far more dangerous. The crowd welcomed Leonard and Ben into the arena for the second match. Anticipation spread throughout the stadium instantly. Before the battle began, Leonard approached Ben confidently. He viewed the tournament as an opportunity to resume their unfinished rivalry. Before fighting, Leonard extended his hand toward Ben. He proposed a handshake while carefully observing his opponent's reaction. Leonard explained that he wanted to judge Ben's character. Personally, he considered that assessment important before their battle. Lightning gathered around Leonard's hand as he described his test. He dismissed anyone intimidated by the display. Leonard challenged Ben directly and questioned whether he could withstand the electrical pressure without backing away from danger. Ben rejected Leonard's reasoning and criticized the tactic immediately. He argued that such behavior had already harmed many people. Ben accepted Leonard's challenge and extended his hand. He declared that he would answer the suffering Leonard caused. Lightning erupted as their hands met in front of everyone. Ben endured the attack and returned the pressure directly. Leonard showed visible surprise after sensing Ben's attribute. He realized his opponent possessed earth magic and remained completely unfazed. Ben mocked Leonard's confidence and promised to shatter it. The announcer then ordered both contenders into position immediately. As the second match began, Kyle evaluated the situation carefully. He recognized that earth magic naturally countered Leonard's lightning attribute. Kyle calmly observed the battle and believed attribute compatibility would not trouble Ben. Meanwhile, Leonard prepared a powerful lightning attack. Leonard unleashed countless lightning spears. In response, Ben gathered rocks around his body and formed a massive earth armor, covered by stone armor. Ben challenged Leonard confidently. He intended to withstand the incoming attack before launching his counterattack. The lightning barrage struck Ben directly and filled the arena with explosions. However, Ben endured the damage without falling. Leonard followed with lightning arrows that pierced through Ben's earth armor. The shattered rocks shocked spectators as the battle intensified. Kyle explained that attribute advantages only mattered when opponents possessed similar magical strength. A large power gap changed everything. Leonard demonstrated his overwhelming power. Meanwhile, Ben struggled to remain standing inside his damaged earth armor after enduring repeated attacks. As Ben observed Leonard's condition, he realized their difference in magical ability was far greater than expected during battle. Leonard calmly mocked the situation and suggested ending the fight. However, Ben refused, angered by Leonard's attitude. Ben heard his classmates desperately cheering for him from the audience. Their support strengthened his resolve, despite his injuries. Leonard advised Ben to stop fighting for others. Ben understood the situation but remained determined to continue the battle. Refusing to surrender, Ben rebuilt his shattered earth armor. The damaged rocks gathered together and reformed around his body. Ben reshaped the armor into a gigantic stone hammer. Fueled by determination, he prepared one final attack against Leonard. With all his strength, Ben swung the earth hammer downward. Leonard remained calm and prepared a counterattack at the last moment. Leonard released a powerful lightning trident that destroyed the massive hammer. Ben was shocked as his strongest attack vanished in a single strike. Leonard revealed an enormous number of lightning spears above the arena. The spectators realized the battle had become extremely dangerous. Before Leonard could release the attack, the officials stopped the match. They judged the technique too dangerous for Ben to face. With the fight ended, Leonard was declared the winner. The crowd applauded while his supporters celebrated the result. Sykes watched Leonard and admitted that he could not determine the true limits of Leonard's magic power. Kyle learned that Leonard would be his next opponent. Both contestants became interested in their upcoming match and its outcome. Kyle watched as the tournament announced Sykes' All Delight's final first-round match. Most spectators expected the senior champion to win easily. Sykes walked forward, carrying years of effort and ambition. The upcoming battle was the opportunity he had awaited. Kyle remembered how Sykes constantly exceeded expectations. Despite doubts from others, he always found ways to achieve remarkable results. Determined not to disappoint his closest friend, Sykes rushed toward the arena. He vowed to prove his strength before everyone. The stadium erupted as Sykes faced the renowned ice princess, Yuna Alvarez. Their highly anticipated duel was finally about to begin. Standing across from Yuna Alvarez, Sykes assessed the overwhelming challenge ahead. He acknowledged her strength but remained confident. Sykes trusted Salamander, strengthened through Kyle's support and guidance. Believing in its power, he saw a path toward victory. The preliminary match began as Sykes respectfully faced Yuna. Both competitors entered the arena prepared to demonstrate their abilities. Sykes unleashed blazing attacks that wrapped around his sword and surged forward. Yuna blocked the assault without difficulty. Explosions erupted around Yuna, forcing her attention elsewhere. Using the brief distraction, Sykes advanced quickly and launched a surprise strike. Sykes pressed forward with another attack, but Yuna countered. Recognizing his connection to Kyle, she remained unfazed. Yuna calmly gathered freezing energy around her hand and declared her intent. Powerful ice spread outward, threatening to end the match. Defending against the surprise assault, Yuna created a massive ice spear. Watching from the stands, Kyle sensed its overwhelming power. Refusing to retreat, Sykes raised his blade and called upon its strength. The unusual flames surrounding him caught Yuna's attention. Flames swirled across the battlefield as Sykes advanced through the pressure. He challenged Yuna's confidence and prepared his next move. The audience noticed Sykes' flames turning blue, revealing a far greater temperature. Even so, Yuna remained completely composed. Yuna observed the change without concern. To her, Sykes' improved flames had not altered the battle's outcome. As spectators questioned the matchup, Sykes steadied himself within the blazing aura. He recalled the purpose behind wielding his sword, watching from above. Marquis all delight reflected on Sykes' determination. Meanwhile, Sykes charged forward and unleashed Flare Saber. Yuna met the attack head-on and instantly froze the massive flames. The crowd stared in shock at the frozen fire. The spectators realized the difference in strength was overwhelming. Even Sykes' allies struggled to understand why he continued fighting. Remembering his long-held dream, Sykes refused to surrender. He forced himself forward despite exhaustion and mounting pressure. Yuna suddenly launched a powerful ice thrust that struck Sykes directly. Shock spread through the audience as he cried out. Without hesitation, Yuna followed with another devastating spell. A towering pillar of ice descended and engulfed Sykes completely. The arena fell silent as Sykes became trapped within a massive frozen prison. Kyle and the others watched in disbelief. As the referee prepared to declare Yuna the winner, a sudden crack echoed through the frozen structure, startling everyone. The ice shattered apart from within, revealing blazing flames hidden inside. Spectators gasped as Sykes' power surged outward. Remembering his dream, Sykes continued fighting despite overwhelming despair. Refusing defeat, he struggled forward through pain and exhaustion. Watching from the stands, Marquis all delight recognized Sykes' determination. Emerging from the shattered ice, Sykes took another step forward. Amid the shattered ice and raging flames, Sykes recalled Marquis's teachings. He realized he had depended on his sword. Marquis once warned that borrowing a blade's strength would limit growth. A true magic swordsman must stand as its equal. Remembering those words, Sykes faced the blazing spirit before him. He understood true mastery required complete dedication and sacrifice. As the remaining ice burst apart, Sykes reached a breakthrough. He declared that he would no longer rely solely. Channeling the blade's power, Sykes united with the flames. His newfound strength transformed him into a far stronger fighter. After breaking free from the ice prison, Sykes stood surrounded by blue flames. The crowd witnessed an incredible reversal unfold. Yuna acknowledged Sykes' achievement for the first time. She wondered whether he had concealed greater strength all along. Sykes recalled Marquis all delight's advice and finally understood it. Accepting the lesson, he resolved to fight seriously. As Sykes' determination sharpened, Salamander manifested beside him. The mighty blue flame spirit appeared to protect and support him. The audience stared in amazement at Salamander's overwhelming presence. Kyle realized that Sykes had awakened his sword's true power. Yuna closed her eyes and gathered immense magical power. As freezing energy spread outward, even the surrounding air began glowing. Countless ice fragments drifted across the stadium while mana overflowed everywhere. The audience watched as the pressure intensified. The freezing aura continued expanding beyond the battlefield. Sykes realized the temperature surrounding Yuna had reached a terrifying level. Watching the scene, Kyle remembered a dangerous technique connected to Yuna. Concern appeared on his face as the spell formed. Sensing the incoming threat, Salamander warned Sykes of a powerful attack. Sykes remained calm, knowing Yuna still lacked the advantage. Sykes gathered every ounce of power within himself and Salamander. Blue flames erupted wildly as his strength surpassed previous limits. Launching forward, Sykes unleashed Blaze Blade alongside Salamander. The massive attack surged across the battlefield toward Yuna. The overwhelming collision shook the entire stadium. Even Kyle and the spectators were stunned by the attack's destructive force. Sykes' strike became so powerful that cracks spread through the arena's protective barrier. The crowd watched in disbelief. Steam and water vapor filled the battlefield after the clash, with visibility completely blocked. Nobody could tell whether Yuna remained standing. Yuna revealed her ultimate technique, creating a magnificent frozen palace across the battlefield. The spectators recognized the famous spell. With a simple gesture, Yuna opened the palace gates. Sykes watched, sensing that another powerful attack was approaching. From within the frozen fortress, countless ice warriors charged forward. The frozen Valkyries rushed toward Sykes in overwhelming numbers. The fierce assault forced Yuna to unleash a technique she rarely used. Even Kyle realized the battle had reached another level. After witnessing Sykes' determination and strength, Yuna acknowledged him as a worthy opponent for the first time. Genuine respect appeared in her eyes. Yuna noticed Sykes' power differed from ordinary magic. She realized his growth came from determination and experience, not talent alone. Unable to continue fighting, Sykes collapsed from exhaustion. The referee declared Yuna the winner as medical staff hurried forward. Kyle smiled at Sykes' performance, despite the defeat. Watching from across the arena, Yuna looked forward to their future growth. After Sykes' fierce battle against Yuna, the stadium suffered major damage. Tournament officials suspended matches while repair teams restored safety. Outside the medical room, Kyle and several classmates gathered anxiously. Concern spread among the students as they awaited updates. A professor approached the worried crowd and explained that Sykes required rest. She urged everyone to avoid disturbing recovery. Rumors about serious injuries continued spreading among students. Despite growing concern, the professor assured them the situation remained stable. Inside the medical room, Sykes rested peacefully after exhausting his mana. The recovery team expected him to recover soon. After reassuring the students about Sykes' condition, the professor dismissed the crowd. Reluctantly, Kyle and his classmates left together. Watching the departing students, the professor reflected on their strong bond. Marquise All Delight soon arrived at the medical wing. Entering Sykes' room, Marquise All Delight set aside his status and visited simply as a proud father and mentor. Looking at the resting Sykes, Marquis All Delight admitted surprise. Despite his reserved nature, Sykes had earned genuine affection. As Sykes continued sleeping, Marquis All Delight expressed happiness over his son's growth. The professor warmly agreed with him. While discussing Sykes's growth, Marquis All Delight recalled his reaction to the transfer. At first, he doubted the decision. After hearing the news, Sykes revealed a surprising goal. He wanted to reach and surpass someone he deeply admired. The person Sykes respected was Kyle Flayfield. Marquis All Delight remembered hearing many unusual rumors surrounding Kyle's achievements. During the festival, influential observers planned to watch Kyle closely. His growing reputation had attracted attention from powerful figures. Across the magical world, leaders from major organizations monitored Kyle's progress. Their interest continued increasing with every accomplishment. After the repairs concluded, the announcer welcomed everyone back. Excitement returned as the semi-finals of the Magic Battle Festival began. Kyle entered the arena as the first semi-finalist. The first-year student had already defeated powerful upperclassmen throughout the tournament. His opponent was Leonard Lakewood, the renowned Dark Thunder user. Leonard had also dominated every challenger during earlier matches. As both contestants faced each other, the crowd anticipated a fierce battle. Their overwhelming performances had impressed spectators alike. Knowing Leonard's reputation for judging opponents through handshakes, Kyle stepped forward confidently and offered his hand without hesitation. As Kyle approached with a handshake, Leonard prepared himself. The crowd expected his mysterious ability to reveal Kyle's true nature. Kyle assured Leonard of his intentions before accepting the handshake. The instant their hands met, lightning energy erupted outward. Electric currents surrounded both contestants as Leonard examined Kyle. What he sensed left him stunned and speechless. After understanding something through the brief contact, Leonard released Kyle's hand first. The unexpected reaction shocked spectators and officials. As both contestants returned to their starting positions, confusion spread across the arena. Leonard reflected on what he discovered. The Magic Battle Festival semifinals began as Kyle and Leonard faced each other. Leonard believed Kyle understood nothing about his true nature. Kyle launched numerous wind spears across the battlefield. The audience watched closely as his opening attack filled the arena. Leonard answered with lightning spears and mocked Kyle's simple magic. Their attacks collided, creating explosive clashes throughout the battlefield. Leonard unleashed wind arrows toward Kyle. Kyle responded with lightning arrows instantly, preventing any advantage from forming. As the battle continued, Leonard dismissed Kyle's basic techniques. Kyle created countless wind tridents, preparing a stronger offensive move. Kyle surprised the audience by creating a wind trident barrage identical to Leonard's signature technique, demonstrating remarkable observation and adaptation skills. Instead of denying it, Kyle admitted copying Leonard. He praised Leonard's offense and challenged him by testing his defense. Kyle launched countless wind tridents toward Leonard. The attack advanced across the arena, while Leonard remained calm and focused. Leonard activated his lightning trident technique and met Kyle's barrage head-on. Their powerful attacks collided, producing explosions throughout the battlefield. As spectators watched in shock, Leonard prepared another response against Kyle's copied technique. Kyle observed, waiting for Leonard's next move. Leonard nullified Kyle's barrage and mocked his attacks. Confident in his strength, he challenged Kyle to reveal something stronger. Kyle remained calm and accepted the challenge. He prepared another move, intending to test Leonard beyond simple offensive exchanges. Instead of unleashing countless spells, Kyle created only a single wind spear. Leonard watched, surprised by the unexpected choice. The audience questioned Kyle's decision as Leonard mocked him again. Kyle advised Leonard to defend himself against the attack. Kyle fired the lone wind arrow and declared Leonard would lose if he failed to stop it. Leonard's expression hardened. Inside the arena, Leonard mocked Kyle Flayfield's strategy, unmoved by the pressure. Kyle focused his mana and released a basic spell. A swirling wind spear emerged from his hand. Powerful currents gathered around the attack as it surged toward Leonard. Seeing it, Leonard countered with a lightning spear. Sparks erupted across the battlefield when the two spells collided. Instead of breaking apart, the wind spear pushed forward. Shock appeared on Leonard's face after his lightning failed to halt it. Desperate to stop the attack, Leonard unleashed a lightning arrow. Even after taking another direct hit, Kyle's spell remained intact and continued advancing. Neither the lightning spear nor the lightning arrow managed to stop Kyle's attack. The wind spear continued pressing forward. A tense silence spread across the battlefield as the spell drifted closer. Watching its advance, Leonard could only stare in disbelief. From the audience, Shizuna Tachibana observed the scene. The overwhelming amount of mana inside the wind spear left her impressed. Refusing to give up, Leonard unleashed his powerful lightning trident. A violent explosion erupted, yet the wind spear remained untouched. Confusion filled Leonard's mind when the attack showed no signs of weakening. Meanwhile, Kyle maintained the spell and watched it advance. A faint smile appeared on Kyle's face. Believing the battle had dragged on long enough, he decided to increase the spear's speed. The wind spear accelerated across the arena. Alarmed by the change, Leonard erected a massive lightning wall. Relief crossed Leonard's face when the attack seemed to halt. For the first time in the duel, he chose defense over counterattacks. That confidence vanished moments later. Driven by overwhelming force, the wind spear pierced straight through the lightning wall. Shock froze Leonard where he stood. Even the spectators realized the unstoppable spell was still advancing toward its target. As the wind spear closed in, memories of past failures flashed through Leonard's mind. A crushing sense of defeat began consuming him. A violent black lightning erupted from his body. The unexpected surge of power spread across the arena and shocked everyone. Fragments of Leonard's glasses fell away as darkness gathered around him. Observing, Kyle sensed something unusual. A twisted grin appeared on Leonard's face while black thunder crackled around him. The newfound power seemed to amplify his confidence. Gasps echoed as students watched the scene unfold. Concern replaced excitement when they realized Leonard was no longer acting. Pain spread across Leonard's body as the dark power consumed him further. Anticipating danger, Kyle raised a wind shield. Black lightning slammed into the barrier. To Kyle's surprise, the shield gradually began eroding under the strange energy. While darkness swirled, Leonard revealed the source of his new strength. He had obtained power from the Mountain of Death, the Dark Thunder, a force capable of devouring other magic. Realizing, the spectators understood why ordinary spells struggled against it. Greta recalled an old legend. The similarities made him suspect that Leonard's power was connected to a monster slain. From the spectator stands, Midgar watched the battle. Even veteran mages were surprised by the exceptional talents appearing this year. A faint smile crossed Midgar's face. In his eyes, such a gathering of prodigies was a once-in-a-century event. Meanwhile, Leonard called out to Kyle. Surrounded by dark thunder, he prepared to unleash his next attack. Countless bolts of lightning rained down toward the arena floor. Standing at the center, Kyle became the sole target. Confidence overflowed from Leonard. Convinced of his superiority, he believed Kyle had witnessed his true power. To everyone's surprise, Kyle praised Leonard. Hearing those words, Leonard's confidence only grew stronger. Murmurs spread through the audience as spectators struggled to understand Kyle's intention. Some even mistook his remark as an admission of defeat. Laughing, Leonard gathered an enormous mass of dark thunder. Certain of victory, he directed the attack toward Kyle. A deafening explosion swallowed and filled the arena with smoke. Believing the duel was over, Leonard awaited the announcement of his victory. Before the crowd could process the outcome, a brilliant flash burst from within the smoke. The sudden light caught Leonard off guard, emerging unharmed from the chaos. Kyle revealed that he had uncovered Leonard's secret. He claimed to understand its true nature. The battlefield fell silent when Leonard noticed the impossible sight. The dark thunder surrounding Kyle had vanished. Kyle revealed his answer. Matching dark thunder with its opposite, he unleashed the rare light thunder attribute. Shock swept through the audience as spectators struggled to process what they were seeing. Everyone believed Kyle possessed only wind magic. Crackling lightning wrapped around Kyle's body. Even veteran observers were stunned by the revelation of a second attribute. Leonard remained focused on a far greater problem than Kyle's multiple elements. What truly unsettled him was the disappearance of dark thunder. Leonard stared at Kyle in confusion. Unable to understand, he demanded to know what kind of magic it was. Keeping his usual calm demeanor, Kyle revealed the answer. Unlike Leonard, he had combined lightning with light. The explanation left Leonard momentarily speechless. For the first time since gaining dark thunder, uncertainty appeared across his face. Kyle then pointed out a flaw. Dark thunder was not an original power, but a fusion of lightning and dark attributes. Kyle closed the distance, wrapped in crackling light thunder. His thunder fist struck while exposing the immaturity of Leonard's borrowed power. As Kyle spoke, he recalled the hidden darkness that had once existed. A single difference in fate had separated his path. Rather than mocking his opponent, Kyle acknowledged the harsh truth. He believed he could have ended up the same way. Kyle made one thing clear. The strength Leonard displayed today was not born from dark thunder, but from determination and effort. Sincere admiration filled Kyle's voice. In his eyes, turning a flawed power into something formidable was an extraordinary accomplishment. Those unexpected words only irritated Leonard further. Rejecting Kyle's praise, he charged forward through the crackling darkness and prepared another attack. Anger erupted among the spectators as Leonard continued using dark thunder. To them, the forbidden power only brought shame and humiliation. Those harsh words struck Leonard. Hearing the crowd condemn dark magic reminded him of painful memories from his childhood. Old scenes resurfaced within his mind. For a moment, Leonard remembered the loneliness and fear he had tried to bury. No matter how strongly he denied those memories, they refused to disappear. Meanwhile, dark thunder twisted around the battlefield. Leonard confronted an unsettling truth. The power he gained on the Mountain of Death had never belonged to him at all. At last, Leonard accepted a truth. Rather than rejecting his darkness, he acknowledged it as a part of himself. A relieved smile appeared on his face as the confusion, clouding his mind, faded away. Turning toward Kyle, Leonard expressed his gratitude. Freed from his doubts, Leonard released dark thunder with renewed confidence. The sinister energy responded more violently. An overwhelming wave of mana erupted and swallowed the stadium. Witnessing the phenomenon, even the spectators were left speechless. Kyle, realizing the balance had shifted, he understood that stronger dark thunder could now overpower his light thunder. Accepted Kyle's challenge, Leonard condensed his strengthened dark thunder into a single devastating attack. He unleashed everything he had. Kyle met that resolve head-on. Trusting his own strength, he prepared a decisive technique to determine the winner. A colossal white dragon's jaw erupted and collided with the darkness. The overwhelming blast illuminated the battlefield. Shock froze Leonard and the spectators alike as the clash reached its peak. Moments later, a blinding explosion consumed the entire arena. When the light faded, a lone figure fell from the sky. Leonard had been defeated by Kyle's final attack. After confirming Leonard's defeat, the judges reached their decision. Standing alone amid the fading light, Kyle was declared the winner. Cheers erupted as Kyle Flayfield's name echoed across the arena. Even those who doubted him could no longer deny his extraordinary talent. From the VIP seats, the veteran mages exchanged thoughtful remarks. While acknowledging Kyle's strength, they also recognized another remarkable prodigy. With the semifinal concluded, attention shifted. Soon, the Magic Battle Festival would continue with a clash between Kyle and Yuna. Before the match began, a story about Yuna's past resurfaced. During a forest fire, she had unleashed enough ice magic. Even the veteran mages struggled to believe. Yet Yuna herself insisted she had only wanted to protect her forest friends. Mysterious aid had always appeared whenever Yuna faced danger. The source of that protection was said to be a precious companion watching over her. Anticipation reached its peak. The championship match of the 200th Magic Battle Festival was about to begin. With all preliminary battles, the two prodigies stepped onto the stage. Kyle and Yuna prepared to decide the tournament's ultimate victor. The announcer introduced Yuna Alvarez, known as the Ice Queen. She entered the arena carrying the expectations of another title defense. Attention then shifted to Kyle Flayfield. His unlikely journey through stronger upperclassmen had earned him a place in the final. Either Yuna would secure a third consecutive championship, or Kyle would become the first Class F champion. Despite the enormous stakes, Kyle greeted Yuna. In response, she promised to fight seriously, acknowledging him as a worthy opponent. Excitement surged through the stadium. With both prodigies ready, the championship match of the Magic Battle Festival officially began. Yuna began the final match with Ice Arrow, but Kyle countered using Wind Arrow, causing a massive explosion above the arena. Without slowing down, Yuna followed with Ice Lance, while Kyle strengthened himself with Lightning and continued matching her attacks. As the battle intensified, several senior mages observed and discussed whether Kyle truly possessed multiple magical attributes. Daron reflected on the rumors, considering that Kyle might use fire alongside wind and lightning, making his talent exceptional. Instead of feeling impressed, Daron became concerned, believing Kyle's unusual abilities could bring challenges that ordinary mages never face. While observing the battle, experienced mages explained that humans normally struggle with many attributes, unlike elves who possess larger mana reserves. The spectators noted that theories limited humans to 2 attributes, yet Kyle continued fighting without showing signs of strain. Kyle suddenly surprised everyone by casting earth magic, launching scattered rocks across the arena, and shocking every observer present. After revealing another attribute, Kyle calmly declared the warm-up finished and signaled his intention to begin fighting seriously. Yuna stared at Kyle in disbelief, while the spectators and senior mages struggled to comprehend his extraordinary potential. Kyle stunned the audience again by combining 4 attributes into one attack, creating a powerful spell enhanced with diamond, wind, and lightning. Yuna responded without hesitation, constructing a massive frozen palace that transformed the battlefield into an enormous defensive fortress. Instead of attacking immediately, Kyle admired the structure and recognized that Yuna was strengthening her ice attribute through it. Kyle calmly revealed that Yuna's current display was not her full strength, suggesting she still concealed greater power. Yuna acknowledged his observation and confirmed their shared understanding, hinting that both finalists had yet to reveal everything. Determined to reveal her full strength, Yuna gathered immense mana from the surroundings and summoned something from the air. A gigantic wolf emerged behind Yuna, astonishing Kyle and the audience as its overwhelming presence dominated the battlefield. The spectators identified the creature as Fenrir, a powerful ice spirit that stood beside Yuna as her companion. Senior mages immediately recognized the spirit and understood why Yuna's supporters remained confident about her chances of victory. While many worried about Kyle's situation, Milna remained unconcerned, believing he possessed extraordinary strength capable of matching Fenrir. Milna pointed out that Kyle had never formed a spirit contract, leaving him at a disadvantage against Yuna and Fenrir. Several spectators agreed that possessing 4 attributes was impressive, but facing a powerful spirit companion created a different challenge. The observers explained that Fenrir ranked among the strongest ice spirits and granted Yuna access to enormous reserves of mana. Rather than retreating, Kyle unveiled another surprise by summoning towering flames, revealing fire as an additional attribute. The audience and veteran mages were left speechless when Kyle displayed a 5th attribute, surpassing every expectation placed upon him. Yuna stared at Kyle's blazing flames, understanding fire should struggle against ice, yet sensing his overwhelming confidence and power. Kyle challenged Yuna directly, determined to discover whether his fire or her ice possessed greater strength in battle. Flames burst around Kyle Flayfield as he forged a blazing sword, while his opponent carefully assessed the overwhelming attack. Without hesitation, he rushed forward and swung the fiery blade. Nearby, Fenrir emerged beside the girl, lending support. In response, countless ice javelins shot across the battlefield. The incoming barrage missed as Kyle slipped past them. A powerful clash followed when the fire sword descended. Despite the force behind it, the girl stopped the strike. Before Kyle could press his advantage, a radiant barrier expanded across the field. Its strength revealed Fenrir's divine protection, refusing to back down. Kyle Flayfield activated dual wielding and charged ahead, convinced that Fenrir's barrier alone could not stop him. As the clash intensified, Yuna joined forces with Fenrir. Together, they launched a coordinated counterattack that trapped Kyle. From opposite directions, Fenrir and countless ice projectiles closed in simultaneously. Realizing the danger, Kyle searched for an escape. Drawing upon both wind and fire magic, he accelerated instantly. Fire wings carried Kyle beyond the encirclement before impact. Shock spread throughout the audience as the battle continued. Observers hailed the fierce duel between Yuna and Kyle as legendary. Across the battlefield, Yuna reinforced her defenses with Fenrir's support. Meanwhile, Kyle soared above, wielding his fire sword confidently. Watching from the stands, the spectators praised both contestants. Their seamless balance of offense and defense elevated the final rather than slowing down. The duel grew fiercer. Continuous casting strengthened their elemental powers and increased magical concentration. Among the audience, several observers compared the match to a military exercise. The combatants displayed skills beyond ordinary students. After carefully analyzing the exchange, some experts believed Kyle held the advantage. Nevertheless, Yuna remained determined to continue fighting. Despite Kyle's advantage, the spectators believed the battle was far from over. Fenrir's presence continued to strengthen Yuna's chances. High above the arena, Yuna gazed toward Kyle and acknowledged his strength. The fierce contest had earned her respect. A gentle smile appeared on Kyle's face as he returned the compliment. Both fighters recognized each other as worthy rivals. Suddenly, Yuna resolved to unleash everything she possessed. To Kyle's astonishment, Fenrir merged directly into her body. Powerful tremors spread throughout the stadium moments later. As Yuna's mana resonated with the entire structure, everyone watched in shock. As Yuna's power surged across the arena, memories of her past resurfaced. Her grandfather had always believed in her talent. Back then, many people feared Yuna's extraordinary abilities and pushed her away. Only her grandfather encouraged her growth. Even after enrolling at the academy, those painful memories remained. Nevertheless, Yuna continued moving forward without giving up. Over time, everything changed for her. The support of her grandfather and new companions helped Yuna find happiness. Filled with gratitude, Yuna decided to give everything she had in battle. At the same moment, Kyle accepted her challenge. Without warning, Yuna unleashed a massive hell blizzard that engulfed the arena. Snow and ice rapidly consumed the battlefield. As the freezing storm intensified, some spectators recalled an ancient spell. Legends claimed it once froze an entire mountain, rather than retreating. Kyle focused calmly amid the blizzard. He prepared to reveal the strongest technique in his arsenal. A sudden surge of power erupted from his position. The overwhelming release shattered the frozen surroundings and stunned Yuna moments. Later, a violent explosion swept across the stage. Countless ice fragments burst apart as Kyle's attack forced back the blizzard. When the chaos finally settled, both contestants stood exhausted. Breathing heavily, Yuna thanked Kyle for the unforgettable match. A faint smile crossed her face as she reflected on the battle. Suddenly, something unusual drew everyone's attention skyward. High above the arena, a blazing sphere illuminated the heavens. Having prepared his next move, Kyle decided it was time to strike back. As the frozen landscape began to melt away, Yuna realized Kyle had not revealed his full strength. A new threat emerged. Raising one hand toward the sky, Kyle summoned a blazing sphere above the arena. The overwhelming spell became a flaming sundae. Shock swept through the spectators and officials alike. Even veteran mages struggled to identify the terrifying magic before them. Recognizing the danger, Midgar rushed into action. He ordered the academy staff to deploy a protective barrier. Meanwhile, Kyle maintained control over the enormous spell overhead. Everyone understood that a direct impact could devastate the entire arena. Panic spread among the officials as they realized the flaming sundae could incinerate everything within the arena if it fell. Ignoring their concerns, Kyle pointed downward and activated the next phase of his spell. The massive sun began descending. Before Yuna could react, an intense pillar of light erupted from the sky. Its brilliance illuminated the entire city. At the same time, Midgar and the Academy's strongest mages erected a colossal barrier. The spectators watched from inside. When the light faded, Kyle remained suspended above the battlefield. Around him appeared several mysterious black blades that puzzled everyone. After examining the mysterious blades, Shizuna uncovered their secret. Each weapon embodied a different elemental attribute under Kyle's control. The spectators quickly realized the truth behind the attack. Opposing elements collided, causing the summoned swords to destroy one another. Standing beneath the clearing sky, Kyle's extraordinary talent became undeniable. He alone possessed mastery over all 8 magical elements, with the danger gone. Kyle explained his intentions to Yuna. He had answered her strongest spell with one of his own. A warm smile appeared on Yuna's face. Grateful for the battle, she accepted Kyle's feelings as a fellow rival. At last, Yuna admitted she had exhausted her mana reserves. Unable to continue, she accepted the end of the battle. A brief silence swept through the stadium before the announcement arrived. The Magic Battle Festival had found its champion. Cheers erupted from every corner of the arena as Kyle Flayfield was declared the winner. Friends, teachers, and spectators celebrated. Away from the excitement, Milna revealed a hidden truth. She had already suspected Kyle possessed all 8 magical attributes. Hearing that revelation, Midgar could contain his shock. Kyle's existence alone had the potential to transform the magical world. Once the tournament ended, Milna proposed a simple solution. Keeping Kyle's abilities secret would prevent unnecessary turmoil across the world. Even so, The professors admitted the situation was risky. More people than expected had witnessed Kyle's extraordinary power. With the discussion settled, Milna decided to leave the matter behind. She encouraged Jeol to focus on Kyle instead. Turning back with a smile, Milna entrusted her student to Jeol. Kyle's achievement had already become part of Academy history. Meanwhile, Academy staff prepared for the festival's closing ceremony. After a short break, Kyle and Yuna headed toward the stadium exit. While leaving the arena, Kyle was approached by Sykes. The senior student offered congratulations and checked on his condition. Rather than dwelling on his defeat, Sykes praised Kyle's performance. Even Yuna joined in, acknowledging his impressive fire sword. To Kyle's surprise, Yuna returned the compliment and thanked Sykes for his efforts. The exchange left the senior embarrassed. Their light-hearted conversation continued. As Yuna addressed Sykes as a senior, the unexpected remark caught him completely off guard. Before the moment could continue, Leonard appeared in the hallway, ignoring Yuna. He declared that Kyle was the one he wanted to speak with. Just as Kyle prepared to leave, Leonard revealed the name he had been searching for. The unexpected call caught everyone's attention. Elsewhere in the infirmary, an enraged noble caused a disturbance. Furious over Kyle's hidden talent, he demanded answers from Leonard. Rather than responding, Leonard listened in silence. The outburst only reinforced how little others understood the situation. Before tensions could escalate further, several influential figures arrived together. Their appearance shifted the atmosphere inside the room. Leading the group was Milna Razak, Kyle's mentor. With Leonard and the others gathered, a serious discussion was about to begin. Away from the crowd, Leonard approached Kyle with a serious expression. A question he had carried for years demanded an answer. Rather than avoiding the topic, Leonard confronted him directly. He wanted to know why Kyle had called him brother. After a brief silence, Kyle revealed the truth. He declared himself to be Leonard's younger brother without hesitation. Before Leonard could fully process the shocking revelation, the Academy's closing ceremony began. The award presentation was about to start. Soon, the contestants gathered before the audience once again. As Kyle and Yuna stood together, the ceremony officially commenced. As the ceremony began, Yuna noticed Kyle seemed distracted. However, he brushed aside her concerns and focused on the awards. Yuna was announced as the runner-up of the tournament. While accepting the result, she remained wary of Leonard. The crowd erupted once again when Kyle received the championship trophy. Even so, Leonard's thoughts remained elsewhere. While the applause continued, Kyle revealed part of his past. His parents had abandoned him after discovering his powers. The truth left Leonard stunned. When another man appeared and confirmed the story, the impossible revelation became far harder to deny. Leonard struggled to process the shocking revelation. Meanwhile, his father reacted with excitement after learning about Kyle's dark attribute. Instead of showing fear or disgust, the man reassured Kyle. He explained that dark magic was no longer viewed with prejudice. Drawing from recent discussions, he clarified the truth. Dark magic could be wielded by humans, just like other elements. The unexpected praise left Leonard speechless. His father's sudden change in attitude was different from what he expected. Before anyone could continue the conversation, Kyle's adoptive parents arrived. They congratulated their son on becoming champion. Additional relatives arrived at the scene. Their appearance signaled that the long-hidden family matter was far from settled. Without hesitation, Leonard's father made a shocking declaration. He claimed Kyle as his son and demanded his return. The revelation stunned everyone present. As the truth emerged, Leonard learned that Kyle was his younger brother. Rather than accepting the explanation, Kyle reacted. Years of abandonment and resentment erupted the moment he heard their excuse. For the first time since arriving in this world, genuine anger surfaced within Kyle. Even his biological father sensed the depth of his disappointment. Lakewood urged Kyle to return home, claiming their family could possess both top festival winners and gain unmatched recognition. Consumed by ambition, Lakewood imagined worldwide fame for the Lakewood name, but Alvarez immediately criticized his selfish and reckless thinking. As tension continued rising, Kyle stated that even he could not promise Lakewood's actions would remain under control anymore. Claire embraced Kyle tightly, grieving over the painful truths he learned and regretting that she could not shield him. Moved by Claire's emotions, Kyle accepted her comfort while Demio watched nearby, ready to protect their family together. Standing before Lakewood, Demio admitted he could never win a direct fight, yet vowed to protect Kyle and family. Hearing Demio's determination, Jeol stepped forward and promised that he would give everything necessary to safeguard Kyle. As Lakewood attempted to dismiss the situation as a misunderstanding, Demio rejected his excuses and challenged his selfish motives. Before everyone gathered there, Kyle proudly declared himself a Flayfield and recognized Demio and Claire as his parents. Disbelief consumed Lakewood when Kyle chose his adoptive family, while Demio and Claire embraced him with genuine affection. Facing his furious father, Leonard stepped forward with dark magic and asked him to end the conflict before anyone suffered. Instead of accepting Leonard's request, Lakewood lashed out in anger, then abandoned the confrontation and stormed away from everyone. Watching his brother leave, Kyle realized Leonard truly was family, while Yuna and the others observed their tense reunion. Extending his hand toward Kyle, Leonard proposed meeting again during next year's finals, showing respect after their difficult encounter. With a firm handshake sealing their promise, Leonard vowed to win next time, and the festival concluded without further trouble. During the festival ceremony, Class 1F received recognition for creating the most popular haunted house attraction among attending students. After announcing the showcase results, the Academy invited Kyle and Yuna to a royal dinner gathering for champions. Hearing about champions from other nations, Kyle became excited about meeting powerful wizards and learning from their experiences. While Kyle celebrated the invitation, several senior mages discussed his unprecedented talent and his ability to wield 8 attributes. While Kyle celebrated with friends, several powerful mages worried that revealing his unique talent could attract dangerous attention worldwide. Milna and Shizuna feared Kyle's true abilities might create chaos, since history showed disasters often followed overwhelming power. As concerns spread among the elders, Geol suggested keeping Kyle's secret hidden before rival nations intensified competition. Shizuna assured everyone the truth remained protected, explaining that only she understood the dark blades Kyle created. Meanwhile, the Academy Festival ended, yet the senior mages resolved to watch over Kyle and prevent future threats. At the Royal Magic Academy's Wyvern Field, Kyle and Yuna prepared for departure. Teachers reminded them to represent their school responsibly. Freya watched the pair leave, while an elder wished them a safe journey. Kyle and Yuna listened carefully before departing. Kyle mounted his wyvern beside Yuna. Excitement filled them as both riders launched into the sky toward adventure. 1 week after the school festival, Kyle and Yuna received orders to visit the Magic Kingdom and learn. The elder introduced Yuria Magic Academy from the United Kingdom of Seagull, explaining its water magic traditions nationwide. The elder introduced Grez Magic Academy in the Again Mountains Kingdom. Kyle learned its students researched heraldry and mana-powered emblems. Next, the elder described the northern land of far north. Kyle and Yuna listened carefully as the explanation continued. Rail Magic Academy was renowned across history. Its students specialized in the rare ice attribute and achieved many accomplishments. Kyle became fascinated after hearing about ice spirits. Yuna calmly listened while he eagerly anticipated meeting powerful students. Excitement overwhelmed Kyle during the journey. Pointing ahead from his wyvern, he imagined discoveries awaiting them beyond. During the flight, Kyle asked Yuna about the previous year's gathering. Yuna reminded him their upcoming visit was not competition. Curious, Kyle wondered whether anything memorable happened. He recalled Leonard attending before and wanted to hear details about it. Yuna explained. Leonard returned home after losing early. Because of that, he never learned much about the event. As Yuna continued speaking, Kyle became distracted by something ahead. His excitement suddenly grew when a destination appeared. Kyle pointed forward while flying beside Yuna. Below them stood Euglaria, the Magic Kingdom, finally marking their arrival. After arriving in Euglaria, Kyle and Yuna entered the bustling capital. Kyle admired countless stores displaying magical books, tools, and artifacts. Yuna pointed toward the Magic Association headquarters and explained that influential figures from across the magical world awaited them. Since their audience with the chairman would occur later that afternoon, Kyle eagerly requested permission to explore the city. Kyle admitted that Euglaria fascinated him greatly. He wanted to visit the shops, learn local customs, and discover new things. After considering his request, Yuna allowed Kyle to explore alone. Excited, he departed quickly and promised to return on time. While exploring Euglaria alone, Kyle walked through crowded streets. Despite visiting for the first time, he felt comfortable immediately. Kyle noticed magical energy integrated throughout the city. Buildings, fountains, and streetlights functioned together without conflict, creating remarkable balance. Looking across the capital, Kyle admired its peaceful atmosphere. The dense city somehow maintained tranquility that impressed him deeply. As Kyle reflected on humanity's ability to create harmony, strange disturbances appeared nearby, drawing his attention toward trouble. Kyle approached the source and discovered several men harassing someone. Their aggressive behavior immediately shattered his admiration for the city. A young knight stood against the troublemakers. She believed a knight's duty required loyalty to their lord and protection, refusing to ignore violence. The knight confronted the drunken men. After recognizing Liliana nearby, she stepped forward without hesitation. The men dismissed her warnings and mocked her concerns. Nearby, another observer noticed Kyle standing among the gathered crowd. While watching from the street, Kyle wondered why the observer remained there. The situation seemed increasingly unusual and tense. Angered by resistance, the troublemakers prepared weapons and moved forward. Before they could attack, something unexpected interrupted them. Just as the troublemakers prepared to attack, their weapons exploded apart. The crowd panicked while Kyle watched the outcome quietly. Guards quickly arrested the stunned troublemakers. The observing man approached the female knight and acknowledged a favor he owed. When the knight questioned him, the man denied involvement. He revealed that Kyle had been responsible for stopping them. The man explained Kyle used wind magic to seize the weapons and earth magic to destroy them instantly afterward. The knight remained unconvinced about Midgar's explanation. Midgar insisted Kyle's achievement reflected skill rather than overwhelming strength alone. With urgent matters awaiting, Midgar asked the knight for assistance. She accepted the request, understanding their responsibilities today. Meanwhile, Kyle realized others could identify his magic. Wondering about Midgar's identity, he continued exploring Eugleria with excitement. After exploring the city, Kyle arrived at the Magic Association headquarters. Curious about the invitees, he entered the towering building. Inside, helpful golems guided Kyle through the structure. Excitement filled him as he anticipated discovering even greater wonders ahead. Meanwhile, within the headquarters lounge, a woman approached Yuna. She expressed disbelief after hearing unexpected news about her. The woman directly questioned Yuna about losing her championship title during the Magic Festival. Yuna listened without showing emotion. The visitor introduced himself as Brad Flanrod from Rail Magic Academy. Confidently, he questioned how Yuna could lose. Brad continued, speaking to Yuna, but she remained focused on her reading. Her silence frustrated him more than expected. Quinia Mirel from Rail Magic Academy suddenly intervened. Annoyed by Yuna's attitude, she demanded basic respect for Brad. Ignoring the complaint, Yuna remained focused elsewhere. She simply noted that Kyle had not arrived at headquarters yet. Brad found the situation amusing and teased Quinia. He pointed out that Yuna showed little interest in either of them. Another student joined the discussion and mocked Brad's assumption. He argued that Yuna paid little attention to people like him. Two Uria Magic Academy representatives defended Yuna's silence. They apologized for the disturbance and discouraged others from bothering her. Quinia grew irritated after hearing their remarks. She welcomed confrontation, feeling challenged by students speaking against her directly. The atmosphere became tense as Quinia stepped forward. Her companions hurriedly tried stopping her before the gathering escalated further. Nearby, Elena Flourier noticed the commotion and approached curiously. She invited Karuta to observe the developing situation together. Karuta showed little interest in the dispute and advised caution. Even so, Elena wondered whether Quinia possessed exceptional strength. While observing the argument, Brad revealed another participant's reputation. He claimed the blonde student was known as the Frozen Demon. Before the discussion continued, Yuna suddenly noticed someone entering. Recognizing Kyle's presence, she immediately called out his name. Kyle arrived at the lounge and apologized for being late. Several students turned their attention toward him at once. Yuna calmly welcomed Kyle and checked whether anything happened. The surrounding students became surprised watching her greet him personally. Kyle cheerfully introduced himself as the champion who defeated Yuna. His statement shocked everyone, and chaos erupted immediately afterward. Kyle innocently questioned Brad's ice magic specialization. The remark struck a nerve, causing Brad to react with sudden anger. Before the situation escalated further, Midgar intervened immediately. He reminded everyone that using magic inside headquarters remained strictly prohibited. Kyle finally recognized Midgar from their earlier encounter. Midgar ended the discussion and ordered the students to follow him. The gathered representatives followed Midgar through the headquarters. Even Quinia cooperated after learning they were approaching the president's office. Inside the office, the students found nobody waiting. A mysterious voice then welcomed them and acknowledged their long journey. The mysterious host addressed the gathered students warmly. He praised their achievements and welcomed the outstanding representatives from every academy. The speaker revealed himself as Midgar Darwin, the Wind Emperor. He also served as vice president of the Magic Association. As introductions continued, Midgar acknowledged Kyle specifically. Several students reacted with surprise after noticing the special attention directed toward him. Midgar explained that Liliana, commander of the Knights, appreciated Kyle's assistance during the disturbance that occurred within the city. Kyle became confused after hearing Midgar's explanation. Midgar then revealed that association members had watched the Magic Battle Festival. Midgar praised Kyle's performance at the Magic Battle Festival. He revealed knowing Milna and described the final match as legendary. The gathered students stared at Kyle with renewed interest. Many began questioning whether his cheerful appearance concealed remarkable strength. One Urea student suspected the dinner invitation carried another purpose. Midgar's comments suggested something greater than simple hospitality. Before anyone received answers, a magic circle suddenly appeared beneath them. The unexpected development startled every student inside. Midgar showed no concern about the activation. Instead, he encouraged the young representatives to demonstrate their abilities without hesitation. A teleportation spell activated beneath everyone unexpectedly. The students demanded answers, while trying to understand why they had been transported. Without warning, Brad launched an attack toward Kyle. Believing strength was being tested, he moved before anyone else reacted. Kyle remained calm. Despite the sudden assault, Brad quickly realized he had targeted the wrong person entirely. Midgar appeared surrounded by powerful winds and declared himself the true opponent. The students watched with shock and anticipation. Midgar gathered the students and announced a special challenge. Kyle questioned the purpose, while everyone wondered why they must fight. Ignoring their doubts, Midgar declared that all participants should cooperate and attack him together. The unexpected proposal shocked everyone. Midgar arranged the order of battle and placed Yuna and Kyle last. Several students immediately reacted with confusion. One student protested, claiming Yuna deserved recognition and accusing an unknown coward of receiving unfair treatment and privileges. Hearing the complaint, Midgar remained calm. He acknowledged the criticism and requested a proper explanation before continuing the challenge. Kyle and Yuna listened as Midgar explained the major academy festivals, where talented students from different kingdoms competed. He listed the renowned events hosted by Royal Rail, Urea, and Grez Magic Academies, drawing everyone's attention. After reviewing every competition, Midgar claimed he had accurately assessed the combat abilities of all participating students. One student tried interpreting Midgar's evaluation, suggesting that the combined strength of 6 students formed the comparison. Yuna concluded that even all 6 together could only match certain top students, while Kyle silently considered the statement. The dissatisfied students openly challenged Midgar's evaluation. They insisted his rankings were wrong and demanded justification for them. Midgar accepted the objection and told them to prove their claims through battle. One student immediately stepped forward. Mites Corius launched a powerful aqua bullet, determined to uphold the reputation he earned as a festival champion. Without losing composure, Midgar praised Mites' fighting spirit while effortlessly neutralizing the massive sea serpent spell attack. After stopping every attack, Midgar calmly asked whether anyone else wished to challenge the ratings he assigned. Unable to wait any longer, Kyle rushed forward and unleashed Wind Emperor. The spectators watched excitedly as he attacked. Midgar easily stopped Kyle's assault. Kyle then activated a special ability, creating an opening through unexpected interference. Another student attempted to exploit the opportunity with a surprise attack, but Midgar countered before the blow landed. The challengers were quickly overwhelmed, as others fell back. Kyle eagerly stepped forward, determined to face Midgar himself. Midgar explained that the training room possessed an exceptionally strong barrier. Kyle responded by preparing Crimson Blaze for battle. Midgar revealed that the room's barrier could withstand any spell. He encouraged Kyle to unleash his strongest magic. Yuna noticed Midgar's unusual attention toward Kyle. His words made it clear that he expected something exceptional. While others recovered, one student distracted Midgar. The brief delay created valuable time for Kyle's preparations. Elena and another student completed a powerful mana channeling technique. Their energy gathered as the pressure intensified. Observing the process, a student realized the mana had been concentrated into one body, greatly increasing its power. The students combined their techniques into a secret attack. Empowered by Wind Emperor, they launched everything at Midgar. A massive magical blast engulfed the arena. The spectators watched anxiously, hoping the coordinated strike would succeed. Midgar stopped the attack with one hand and admitted its uniqueness. Even so, his evaluation remained unchanged. Refusing to surrender, the students added another layer to their strategy. A powerful whirlwind formed around Midgar. The whirlwind eventually faded, revealing Midgar unharmed. He praised the team's effort and acknowledged their surprisingly strong performance. After praising the team's performance, Midgar turned toward Yuna and Kyle. He decided it was time to become serious.